So, Mike, how you been?
Good, you?
Not too bad.
Yeah, thanks for having me down to do this podcast.
Well, thanks for coming down. How far? What, about 3 hours?
2 hours, just a tad over 2 hours from home right now.
Well, that works good.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. So Mike, for listeners that don't know, I mean, you mind giving a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, guys, so my name is Mike Less. I go by Farmhand Mike on social media. Do a lot on YouTube and a lot on Instagram. I do have the other platforms as well, TikTok, Facebook, and I guess I have Snapchat, stuff like that. I don't do much on those others. YouTube and Instagram are my big two. So mostly farming videos. I work for Versatile Tractor out of Winnipeg, Canada, and travel all over the country for them. I was a service rep with them for many years, and now I'm doing a job in dealer development where I'm training new dealers and stuff on our product, our procedures, stuff like that. So that's how I got into social media, YouTube. I just see so many different things and different types of farming across the country and actually the world, because I've done some in Canada, some in Europe, and so forth. So I just started a YouTube channel in 2012, so 10 years now, just putting up random clips of different farming practices and stuff like that across the country.
Okay.
Or the world, I guess. Yeah.
So you mentioned Versatile. How long have you been with Versatile?
Since 13 years now. So,
Okay.
Yep. So I've pretty much worked in the farm equipment business my whole life. I grew up on a farm in Northeast Ohio. We had 25 acres of apple orchard, 100 and some acres of sweet corn, about 600 acres of small grains. We had 3 laying houses of hens, and we raised pheasants for a few years. And then I went to school for ag mechanics, started working at a farm equipment dealership out of school, and did some odds and end jobs here and there as well. Would go home and help farm on the weekends and stuff like that. And then I took a job with Gale Company as a service rep, and Gale wanted me to move to Western Ohio, so I moved across the state. My wife and I did. And my wife grew up on a dairy farm, so she's got a farm background as well. And we moved to Western Ohio, and I can't drive 4.5 hours every weekend to go back and help my family farm. So I started helping a neighboring farm as soon as we moved out there. If a farmer finds out you can run equipment and know what you're doing, it's not hard to pick up some extra work. And I don't call it work. It's just fun. I enjoy being around the farm and the farm equipment. So that's kind of how I picked the name Farmhand Mike. So
I was wondering if that's where the name comes
from. So since I'm technically not a farmer, and I help some farmers, I thought Farmhand Mike sounded like a cool name to use. So never thought it would turn into something. Never expected it to. So
2012. That's pretty early into the farming YouTube.
Yes, it was. And how really it all started. I was watching a couple. Once YouTube come out in 2006?
I don't even know.
I think YouTube was come out in 2006, actually.
Something like that, yeah.
But when it, like, blogging wasn't something that started right away.
No,
that came later.
Some farmer, the cool thing then, if I come across a farming video accidentally, and it was to put a bunch of farming clips together and play some, either you picked like AC/DC or country music, and you'd put that over the sound of the machinery. And I enjoyed watching it. I mean, it was all songs I liked and stuff, and that's how it kind of started out. So when I actually started doing YouTube videos, that's what I thought was the cool thing to do. You put a couple clips together, and you put an AC/DC song, and everybody wants to watch it.
Was that before copyright? I mean, I don't think you can do that anymore, can you?
You can do it now, but if you're a monetized channel, which I am now, which I didn't even know anything about that, then actually if you're making any money off ads, it's going to go to the songwriter.
So they won't actually strike you. You just have to get the funds.
I think the only thing they'll strike you on is if like you steal somebody else's video and repost it.
Well, I'm sure you've had that happen.
Oh, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject. I'm sure we'll probably talk about some too. Yeah. So
I'll write that down so we do talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were first starting YouTube, I mean, how much different is it now versus back then? I mean, I don't know, but in 2012, I had no idea.
Camera? What was your first camera?
I had a GoPro Hero 2 at the time. So the Hero 2 would have been the second GoPro at the time. And then I had a couple little Kodak cameras and stuff that were digital camera.
So it wasn't the wind up and
no, definitely not that. I actually have farm footage. In 1988, when my oldest son was born, we actually bought one of those great big camcorders where you put the whole VHS tape in and you carry on your shoulder. I actually have footage from that, but there was no way to edit that. I mean, you recorded what you did, and then you put the VHS in your player, and you watched it. But so yeah, I started out there, and my very first YouTube video was a snowmobile video, and a couple buddies and me went up to Michigan snowmobiling, and I had my Hero 2 GoPro on my helmet and so forth. So I put about 20 minutes of our riding on a video. So I'm like, I want to put this on YouTube so they can see it. So back then,
for your buddies to see it?
For them to see it, and then if anyone else seen it,
right,
whatever. Not thinking anything about it. So at that time, I had to create a Gmail account because I had a Yahoo address. So I found out, you got to have a Gmail. So I had to make up a Gmail email and so forth. I started my YouTube channel. I uploaded this video. Of course, back in 2012, internet at home was terrible. It took 18 hours to upload this video.
Wow.
When it was all said and done and uploaded, I got a notification from YouTube that says, you cannot upload videos longer than 15 minutes until you have, I can't remember if you had to have like 100 videos on or so many subscribers, something like that. And I'm like, you're kidding.
Oh, man.
So I just spent 18 hours watching my computer and, scrolling the mouse so the screen wouldn't go blank and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I got all these tractor videos. So I just started putting up like 15, 20-second clips of a tractor coming down the field, pulling an implement, and I threw it up there. So then I'd find another tractor doing this, and I'd just put the title, like say versatile 280 tractor pulling a 16-row Kinsey planter, and I'd throw it up there. And then, I don't know, 6 months later, somebody replied and said, could you make your videos a little longer? And I was like, okay, well, how can I splice clips? So at the time, I was using Windows Movie Maker, and my oldest son helped me with this. So I started putting multiple clips together, like the tractor coming the other way. Then I'd hold the camera up high, down low, and put a 3-4 minute video together. And then somebody said, can you explain what's going on in these videos? I just figured anybody watching these videos is a farmer, so they know what's going on. Well, as we're finding out, and you know this, there's a lot of non-farm people watching these farm videos. So then I started doing voiceovers, and then I added a drone and started getting other clips. And then I did like a corn silage video, and then it just, people love chopping corn silage. So then I started, and there's a lot of things going on there. You got tractor or chopper out in the field, a bunch of tractors on the silage pile, trucks, all kinds of stuff. So then the video started getting longer. And then, I don't know, I was at a farm show probably about 4 years after I started the channel, and some people start coming up to me and they're like, hey, you're that guy that makes those videos. And like, yeah, I am. And
so with your versatile job, you're at pretty much every farm show.
Yeah, so then that was kind of cool. I'd get like 10 people a day, in the early years stopping by, and they're like, oh man, that's really good. And then that's cool. Well, now, you go to a farm show and they know where I'm at, and it's just all day. I mean,
so of all the YouTubers, you're in a unique situation in that.
I am.
Unless we're doing a booth commitment, we can mostly float around, and you're at the same place the whole day.
Right. People can always find me at a farm show. I can't hide. So.
Well, you're real hideable.
Right.
Don't look nothing unique.
Yeah. And then several, I don't know, after a couple years, then. Like Brian, I mean, we met because one of his videos popped up. The first video of yours that actually popped up in my suggested was, I think it was getting ready for harvest. I don't know what year that would have been.
2018.
Okay, so I saw that and I watched it. And I'm like, oh, he's from down by Chillicothe. This is pretty cool. I think I might have commented at the time. And then the National Farm Machinery was coming up. I think I sent you a message and said, hey, I'm going to be at the Versatile booth. I'd like to meet you. And that's how I met Millennial Farmer as well.
Yep.
Same thing. And you guys were, I mean, starting your channel and stuff. But I think that video is what really turned you. I want to say that was the point where your videos really started taking off, if I remember right. But
yeah, I mean, when that video came out, I think I had probably, less than 100 subscribers.
Okay.
And those people that were subscribed were just people that I knew.
Yeah.
I mean, share your video with your family and friends
and
whatnot. After you get over the weirdness of like someone watching your video in front of you. Like I remember 2018, we every year we go on a family vacation with my in-laws, and we just finished wheat harvest, and I decided I was going to video every day of wheat harvest.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely terrible videos.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, no idea what I'm doing. Like, they don't make
Right.
sense, most of them.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here editing the last one on vacation, and my brother-in-law goes, "What are you doing?" I told him. Next thing I know, I hear me talking on his cell phone.
Okay.
I was like, man, this is weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But yeah, I think when that video you're talking about came out, I had about 100 subs, and
Okay.
I think I got to 1,000 like 3 or 4 videos later.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it took off pretty good.
Yeah. And that was one thing, too. When I started, I never paid attention to views or subscribers. Like, to me, I don't even remember early on that I looked at other people's channels and said, oh, he's got, X amount of subscribers. But that's how people rate us. I mean, that's, it's...
How long it took for you to get monetized? Or maybe you didn't try right away.
I never tried because I didn't know it was a thing.
Right.
I didn't have a clue. I heard people were making money on YouTube. So I actually had this ad agency company contact me. And I want to say I maybe had like 5,000 subscribers at the time. And they sent me this email, and they're like, hey, if you sign up with us.
So they were trying to get a part of your money.
Yes. Well, I didn't know that at the time. So
yeah, if anyone's starting a channel, like I remember being in the same shoes, like you start getting these weird spam emails is what they are. They're spam. And they're trying to get you to sign a contract basically to where they're going to get half your YouTube revenue.
Yeah, and they're going to build your channel, and your channel is going to explode.
And they usually don't do anything.
No. So
it's a sham.
At that time, I was getting about 1,500 views a day on average. And I signed up with them. They were out of Michigan.
Oh.
I did. I fell for it. And,
Well, I mean, I would have
you're
fell
like
for it too.
yeah, because, so they only pay you. You only get a check if you make more than $100 a month. So when I started out, it took me 3 months to get my first check,
Yeah.
And they were sending me a check in the mail. The company was up in the Detroit area, Michigan. And they said that they had sponsored some other hunting channels. And I checked them out, and it all looked legit. And I guess it was. It really was. Well, then all of a sudden my checks weren't coming.
But that hunting channel sold their soul.
Yes.
And they probably paid them a lot of money.
Yeah. So anyways, I quit. My checks weren't coming in anymore. And I'd email them, and they're like, yeah, we're running a little behind. They were blaming YouTube for it. And I'm like, and at that time I was maybe getting $200 to $300 a month, which, it's nice little spending cash for here and there. And it's like, this is a hobby, so this is cool. Well, since I get to travel all over the country for work, I was in Michigan. I'm like, I'm just going to go visit this place. I got their address.
They probably didn't expect that.
So how'd that go?
Well, I had talked to some other people and learned that I didn't need them. I talked to another YouTuber, and he's like, why are you going through somebody else? I
Right.
said, well, I thought you had to.
Hey, watch that mic. When you're moving your head, you're cutting in and out.
Okay, so I won't look at you guys.
I know it's weird. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
So anyways, so I had another YouTuber said, you do not need somebody else to monetize.
Be
You
the
can
middleman,
yes,
basically.
Yeah, and it all made sense, so I started reading up on it. So anyways, I went up there because I signed a contract with these people, so...
You know for how long?
I think I had to give them like a year, which I was already 2.5 years into this at this point. And I think my biggest check at that point was, at one point, I hit like $700 one month, which is, I thought, wow, this is
Well,
is
yeah,
cool.
I mean, if you're like me, I'd never had a hobby that paid any money.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Kayla was thrilled when I found one that paid some kind of money.
Yeah. So yeah, usually they cost you a lot of money. But so anyway, so I go to their office, and it's this big high-rise, not a high-rise building, but a pretty good-sized building in a suburb of Detroit.
I thought you were going to say it's in somebody's basement.
That's what I was expecting.
No. So it looked
They
legit.
actually had a legit office.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that
So they had a
for.
suite. They had a suite. So I get on the elevator and I just stroll right up there like I know what's going on. And I walk in, and there was a receptionist, and there was dogs in there and stuff. Like, I guess you could bring your pet to work. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I'd never seen nothing like this. But I guess that's a common thing now. But anyways, that's another topic. So anyways, I said to the woman at she goes, can I help you? And I said, yeah. And I had a couple names from some different emails and stuff. And I said, could I speak to this person or that person? She said, who are you? And I said who I was, and I seen her leave her thing, and she went back and was talking to these people, and it looked like they were stumbling. And finally this guy come out, and he was I thought he acted kind of nervous, and he's like, well, we're having a little cash flow problem here.
This high rise is costing a lot of money.
Yeah, he said we lost some of our hunting channels because of guns, because apparently at that time YouTube was cracking down on guns and stuff like that, they tell me. So anyways, he goes, if you want to break the contract, you can.
Wow.
So I'm like, it's that easy? Yes.
Because you showed up in person.
Well, probably. So anyways, long story short, I ended up, I was 2 months behind on payment. He promised me that they would pay me. And I did get my money. And I signed back up. And I'm like, well, I'm probably going to have to miss a month of YouTube revenue or something. But no, I pretty much took right off. And then it seemed like my channel actually started doing like that. Then it was like, then I hit 25,000 subscribers. I'm like, oh, wow.
Right.
Like, that's a big deal. And then I'd say my channel's slow and steady since then. I mean, Brian's passed me up now, you know.
Well, I'm not much further.
And there's, I think I'm at 106 or 107 now. But
107, I think. Okay, the other day,
so
yeah.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, I'm happy about it because, like, I had no intention of this ever turning into what it did. So I'm happy. I mean, a lot of people think they think it's a big deal. Think I'm a big deal or whatever. But
how many people do you know have 100,000 people following?
That's yeah. Well, we was on vacation years ago, a family vacation, and we were going on a whitewater rafting trip, and we had this guide, and somehow we started talking about YouTube and this and that. My oldest son was talking about this, and he said, "Well, what's some of your videos get?" And I said, I got some that get 5,000 views, some get 25,000. I said, I was trying to explain to him. He goes, think about it this way. He said, if you had a rock band and you went and played a venue and 5,000 people come to watch that, would you think that was a big deal? I said, that kind of sounds like it'd be a big deal. He goes, well, that's the way you need to look at it.
I never really looked at it like that.
Yeah, so
a little bit more cheering at the band, but other than that, pretty
well,
close.
you don't know. They could be. I imagine they're cheering when they watch.
Yeah, well, right. But
go, Brian, go.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it seemed like after I
love you, Brian.
holding lighters up. They're
doing a light show.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was me.
But yeah, so it just seemed like after I got away from that company, then my YouTube started going. Because like I said, they never did nothing for me as far as getting more views. And,
Well, I remember multiple times getting those same emails. And I think by the time I started getting them, I can't remember if I knew anyone that was also YouTubing.
Okay.
Or I might have YouTubed it. Like I might have typed in their name on YouTube. I think that's what I did. And you start seeing videos of people who have signed those contracts and had similar experiences as you.
Yep. And I still get emails.
Yep.
I won't say the name of the company, but I'll bet you get them from them too. And I know somebody that almost changed what they were doing on their own, and then they actually had an attorney that's kind of overseeing their stuff. And they had their attorney sit in there and ask some tough questions, and they said they were really stumbling. But I just ignore them.
I mean, if you think about it, they're con artists. I mean,
yes.
I mean, all that was being paid for by people in a similar situation as you and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yep. So
I like how they act like other channels going away was going to cost you.
Yes.
When in fact they were just taking a cut of your check.
That's exactly
it's like how was that supposed to affect you? That wouldn't have went over with me either.
No, but
they got to take his money to pay for the building.
Well, I guess so. The dog.
Cindy over here has to take Rover to work, and
Right,
Rover has to have a dog treat.
Probably had to get groomed. And
So
I'd imagine like the people I have in my mind that were sitting in this high rise, and they see Mike stroll in there.
I was gonna say Mike's not a lot.
Say for people listening,
intimidating. Roll in there and like, hey guys, where's my check?
Yeah, for the people listening, like, Mike's not a small dude. Probably thought, who's this biker dude?
He looks mean, but he's really not. He's a really nice guy. Yeah.
So when you started YouTube and you said you created a Gmail,
yes.
So does that Gmail?
Huh? Can you hear me chewing, or can I eat?
I don't hear it.
So when you started that Gmail account, did it have anything to do with the name Farmhand Mike?
It did.
Oh,
yes.
So I started mine, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Brian's farm videos, and that is permanently linked to your YouTube account.
The name?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, like you can't change the name of that email address that's linked to your YouTube account. You can forward emails from that address.
Okay.
Now I can hear you chewing.
Was that outside the mic or?
You can hear it
I can
picking
hear
up.
it, but I can't tell if it's through here or just outside.
Yeah, it's picking up a little bit.
Well, my first YouTube name, and I can't change that either. I started out as Buckeye Farmer 686.
I started out as Buckeye Hiker.
Really? I don't remember your YouTube
So-
channel.
The very first video was
So
that.
also the link to your YouTube account, I realize you can't change that either.
So
Yeah.
What your original name was is in the link, right?
you can change you can get a custom HRL address.
Okay.
Okay.
You can do that in your Google
mine's
settings.
still like because I changed my name when I started doing the housing.
Yep.
And mine was still has the original name in the URL, so you can actually change that.
Yeah, you can do
Okay,
a custom one.
I didn't know that.
So like when I copy and paste mine, it's YouTube/Brian's Farm Videos.
Okay.
Okay.
But
You can't change.
But yes,
that
You don't have to have a certain amount of subscribers.
part. You might have to have 30,
Oh. Okay.
not 100%. So Monroe has a YouTube channel too, and
Okay.
it's 15 or 20,000 subs. So I mean, it's a pretty decent sized channel.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, thanks to Brian.
Yeah.
You grew that. I mean, I haven't gave you a shout out since you had about 1,000. So
Anyways, yeah, we had. Anyways, had a couple of videos that did pretty good, and that helped a lot. But
yep. So-
Brian did really help me get started, which is I feel like it's the hardest part of YouTubing though, the initial 1,000.
Yeah, cracking that 1,000 part is. I mean, it's. So like the channel that these podcasts are being recorded on, like it's not monetized yet.
Okay.
And it has 700 subscribers. So if you're listening to this, you can also watch it on YouTube at Working Words Podcast.
And get us up to that 1,000 mark.
I'll have to check it out.
But I forgot how much it sucks editing a YouTube video. You know, you're not making any money on. Like that sounds greedy, but like you're spending all this time. I mean,
Wait a
if
minute.
this is a 2-hour podcast, it's going to take me at least 2 hours to edit it because I got to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Are you just doing it for the money?
No, but it is
I'd like to say yes.
Uh-oh, wife chimed in.
yeah. I mean, it definitely helps. I mean.
I
You
fully
know
get
it
where
is.
you're coming
Yeah.
from. It justifies the time you spend taken away from your family or whatever else you would be doing if you're at least getting compensated for. I mean, it's no different than having a job or something in the evenings or
Yes.
figuring up bills or
Yep.
contracts or whatever else you're doing. So
Yeah, I mean, I think when I started my YouTube channel, like I didn't think I'd ever really make money on it. I thought maybe someday I'll get lucky and make enough money to pay for my camera.
You know, I do remember you said something about you didn't know you could make money on YouTube until I told you about it, right?
Yep.
I think there's a thing called royalties.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing that came in the form of shout-outs probably. So I'd say we're pretty even.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I had no idea you could make money on YouTube at all. So it's pretty cool. And I know that's like a question people like to ask you too. Like, how much you making on YouTube? Or I don't know. Like people, like I don't know how there's people in my home area that think I'm making like a couple $100,000 off of YouTube every year.
So
and,
I find
and
it's
that-
either strewed one way really high or one way.
Yeah.
Like I've had some companies, like I mean, I'm sure you've done partnerships with brands or
Yes.
been approached by brands, like the Timberland.
Yes.
But I've had some companies that like it's almost like they don't put any value on it, and they think, oh, you're just you
Yeah.
dangle over like I mean I don't want to sound like this isn't a lot of money, but dangling like $100 or $500 in front of you like this is going to change your life or something. I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
I think what we're doing is worth more than that. I guess.
Right. $100 and a free flashlight for me to talk about your flashlight for 60 seconds. I'm sorry. I mean, no one's going to turn down $100, but I don't want to. I'm afraid at some point you're going to turn your audience
Yes,
away if you
yes.
like.
Every video is going to be a commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've done a little bit of collaboration with some different companies, but I really try to wait and pick something good. I mean, there's a lot of junk that comes through.
So the first year I was doing, I mean, shortly after that video you were talking about, that same year, I mean, had an email come through my my YouTube channel, and some dude, I can't remember how he introduced himself, but asked if I would like a free light bar in exchange for some YouTube content.
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah, that is awesome. Of course I want a free light bar. It was $11.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's $11 light bar.
Yeah.
Said right on it, made in China.
I think I turned those down. The first one I ever got was for a camera, like a cab cam, but it was a Chinese knockoff, and they're going to send it to me. And I told them, I said, I'll take your camera and I'll put it in a video, but you're going to have to wait till harvest season. I'll put it on a grain cart. And they were just bound and determined, and they kept calling it a backup camera, which I don't think that's the right way to advertise a camera you use on a piece of farm equipment as a backup camera because it looked like a cab cam. And they were just bound and determined. They sent it to me. I said, hey, I need 2 cameras because if I want to put on a grain cart, I want one in the back and one on the auger. Well, they send me 1 camera. I'm like, okay. So I get on their website.
You get half a video.
Yeah, I get on their website and I find I can buy this camera for like next to nothing,
Oh,
right?
man.
Did you video it? Because I'm pretty sure I've watched that video.
Yeah.
So I think the year I was starting, I think you did comment on one of my videos, or I heard of
Okay,
you somehow.
okay.
And one of the first videos I watched, you had some kind of camera system and a grain cart.
Yeah, that's possible. But they wanted me to they said, well, we can't wait till harvest season. Just go put it on your pickup truck. I'm like, I'm not putting a stupid camera I already got a backup camera on my tailgate. Like, why would I put your monitor in my truck?
Yeah, they weren't wanting an integration. They were wanting a full video.
Yeah, so anyways.
But, I mean, it is tough, though, trying to figure out what a video is worth. I mean, there's no handbook to this stuff. And
there's, I think a lot of it, they go by how many subscribers or followers you have on certain platforms, and there's a base, but it varies a lot too.
And they're probably also gonna lowball, like start low, hoping you just bite, get anybody they can.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna actually probably shout out or offer you what they think you're worth. Probably,
Right.
So.
Yeah. And you're really, I mean, I know for me working for a farm equipment manufacturer and going to farm shows, I know what these farm magazines charge companies to run an ad in a farm magazine.
Right.
And I'm sure the farm magazines hate us farm YouTubers because we go to these farm shows, we walk around, we video some.
so I bumped into you at a farm show and had a very similar experience to what you're talking about, where it was very clear that I was the elephant in the room and I was not well liked.
Right. And because you're doing something for fun that you're going to probably make some money off of, and they want to rip off the manufacturer to.
Does it hurt them, though? Like, is your YouTube
Yeah, I mean,
hurting
you're
the
taking,
magazine?
like, basically, let's just say, like, I have no idea what they pay, like, what a manufacturer pays a farm magazine. But let's just say, hypothetically, that X equipment manufacturer pays X magazine, let's just say $25,000 just to be in their magazine.
Yep.
Hypothetically. Like I say, I have no hard numbers. But
Oh, I
most
get
of
what
those magazines are pay to play.
Yes.
And a lot of that leads to farm shows. Like sometimes you have to advertise in a certain magazine to be in a certain farm show.
That is correct.
And there's really only one that does that, so it's pretty obvious who we're talking about if you are in this circle.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, like, the coverage they're getting at that farm show, I mean, like, some of the bigger YouTube channels will see that many people a night, like, watch a video.
So they're basically getting the coverage from your YouTube for basically free.
Pennies on the dollar or nothing.
Or nothing compared to what they would pay the magazine.
Like for example, say a farm progress show. I can get away from the booth and I go out and watch the combines run the corn harvest. This is an easy video for me to make because I stand there in the crowd. I video each combine going by. You know, it's
Just
goes
like
by
half the crowd is doing, right?
15 seconds. I video that one. Here comes the next combine. Video it. And every combine normally gets to make 2 to 3 trips down the field. Usually the first one's a combine, second one's tractor and grain cart by the combine. And I can put that video up and say, you know, corn harvest at the, 2020 Farm Progress Show or whatever. Well, I can't say 2020 because that one was the, what's the word for it? The virtual farm. Okay, so 2019. But anyways, I put this together. And, that video, other YouTubers obviously would do better than me. But say I put that video up and I get 25,000 views on it. And sometimes 50,000. That's a lot of views. And then you look at some of these magazines.
They usually have a YouTube channel
or their
as well.
website, yes. And they put their video up and it gets 100 to maybe 500.
Well, like that virtual show they did,
Yes,
I bet
that
it didn't
was-
have more than
no.
1,000 views.
No.
I bet it didn't have more than 10,000 views.
So I want to watch what I say because I don't want to make anybody mad on this, but that's the world we live in. So the Virtual Farm Progress Show, I got to go there because it's versatile. We were going to demonstrate a tractor and a high-speed disc for tillage. So anyways, all the combine manufacturers were there, so I got permission to film just like Brian did and be there. So I ran our tractor and disc, and they filmed it, and I went to their website and watched the virtual video. Like 2 days after it was posted, it had like 9 views.
Oh.
9 views. I'm like, whoa. Okay, I'm like, okay, so there's a company that makes green farm equipment that just come out with a new combine.
Gotta watch what you say here.
I wonder which company that is.
They will sue your ass.
They just come out with this great big new combine that was a cool looking combine. I mean, it is.
Well, there's no secret. I mean, that green company, I mean,
Yes.
their color sells.
Yes, and it's a cool looking combine. So I'm like, okay, if any video did good at this virtual show, that one would have got a lot of, done really good. So I went and looked at theirs, and at that time they had like 90 views. Oh, wait, whoa.
10 times.
Now, you had a video of that
And
combine.
then I had a video of that combine, and it did very well because that combine's brand new. Not many people have seen it run in the field. And then I was able to sneak some drone, not sneak, I got some drone
Yeah, I
footage
mean,
of
there's a lot of drones flying around.
Yeah. So I put my video together, and my video did great. So I go back a week later, so I think the video with me in it and the Versatile is up to like 90 views now, and that other one was up to like 300. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're going to sell anyone on
The crazy thing, though, like the show he's talking about paid a camera company to shoot all these videos, and they paid them very well, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And, I mean, Mike, with the same drone, the exact same drone that guy had, because I seen it flying around, probably got 25 times more views.
You want to hear the funny thing? The guy that they paid to do that,
Yeah, I remember.
he lost an SD card.
That had all the show footage.
No way.
He lost his SD card, and a couple people come and asked if they could have my footage for them to use, but they said they couldn't pay me.
Oh,
And I said, let me
they
think.
must not want it very
I said,
bad.
let me think about it. And, then they never bugged me again. I mean,
I can't
that's
believe
kind of a
you
crappy
think that'd be
thing.
worth something to them to,
Yeah, I wonder if they ever paid the other guy then, or if they said,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But long story short, I think traditional media does not like YouTubers.
No, I
Well, their YouTube channels or even their videos on their website, they just don't do very well. It seems like people don't tend to want to log into YouTube to watch a magazine's video. They'd rather watch a guy that's doing his own editing, his own blogging.
Well, it's more real.
Right,
I mean,
that's more real than a
basically,
magazine.
I think you can pretty much get. First off, most of the people that write magazine articles that I've been around, speaking for like people I've been around, are so far removed from the farm. Like, how much do they actually know about what's happening? How much are they writing down what they were told?
Yep.
That's the impression I get from a lot of.
You mean, or
I mean, they're interviewing some product specialists, but they don't actually know what they're.
They haven't tried the product or had it in the field.
Or have any kind of knowledge about the product.
Right. I do think that's the cool thing about YouTube. A lot of guys like you and you as well, like you have hand-on experience with this, these products, and you know the ins and outs of them. I did notice that about your YouTube. One thing I did like about it is the details of the machinery.
Yes.
The specs right down to the engine size and what size engine is. I think that's kind of neat. And I kind of wondered, that's one of my questions is, I didn't know. I mean, before coming to do this podcast, I had no idea what you did as for a living, and I'm like, it's got to be farm equipment related somehow because he knows his equipment.
And even with me working for Versatile, I'll video all makes of farm equipment.
Okay,
and our company's fine with that. Like I don't feel like I'm promoting the other brands. I mean, obviously, if you watched all my videos, I promote the Versatile or talk more about Versatiles, but I'll still give specs for, this.
I noticed the Versatile is the best looking tractor on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this is coming from a non-farmer.
yeah.
So, just real quick, Versatile, that's the name as a non-farmer.
Yep.
I don't hear a lot.
So Versatile started building, they actually started out as a grain auger company up in Canada. And in 1966, they started mass producing four-wheel drive articulated tractors, just big tractors.
In what year?
1966.
I was going to say, I feel like I've seen of the first of those
There's some
tractors,
older-
like years ago.
Yes.
Man, I feel like that color scheme,
Yep.
So particularly the color scheme they are now is kind of a retro scheme.
Yes, it is.
okay, that's. I feel like I seen that tractor, like, man, as I was a little kid, maybe.
You would have. So anyway, Versatile went through different shareholders, owners, and stuff. And then Ford Motor Company actually bought Versatile back in the 80s. And then Ford and New Holland got together. So there was actually blue Ford Versatiles or New Holland Versatiles built for a long time. And then in about 2000, Case and New Holland, I think New Holland bought Case International, and they couldn't have two different lines of four-wheel drive tractors, two different lines of row crop tractors. So they had to diversify. So Bueller Industries ended up buying the Versatile factory from CNH at the time, and started painting them red again.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So one question I get asked, and I'm sure you get asked this too: does Russia own any
Well,
part of Versatile?
Not Russia themselves. So Rostelmash is a combine manufacturer in Russia. Also builds swathers and self-propelled forage harvesters. They own the majority stock in Versatile. But
Okay, but it is a Canadian-based company, though.
Versatile is still a Canadian-based company.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been getting beat up on that a lot.
Especially with the recent events.
Yes, and now they build some tractors over there that are old Versatile models. So like years ago, they sold some old jigs from Canada, shipped them over to Russia. So there is models of Rostelmash tractors over there that look like an old Versatile, but I think we have sent new tractors over there, but pretty much all the money and everything, it stays here.
Okay.
Like there's no... you can get a lot of expert opinions on this on the internet and stuff, but
I'm sure.
I mean, it's
Expert
you hear
in
all
air
kinds
quotes,
of
I'm sure.
stuff. But
Do they only make tractors?
Versatile, yes, and some tillage equipment.
Okay.
Yes. Now we were importing a few of those combines over here a few years ago and branded them Versatile, but the combine market's a tough market to get into in North America, so that didn't last long.
See, I remember some Versatile combines, but I never. I think
Yeah.
you filmed one, didn't you?
I have, a few of them. But the thing with like a lot of the Versatile dealers, we have a lot of dealers that are AGCO dealer or New Holland dealers, so they're already selling. Like AGCO dealers are selling the Gleaner combine or the Massey combine at one time. New Holland dealers got their combine, so they got their little customer base. And to bring in something else to the market is just.
Well, it seems like you see a lot of them at AGCO dealers, and I assume it's because, AGCO doesn't have a four-wheel drive anymore.
Yes, yeah.
And it just seems like a good fit for most dealers that I see carrying them.
And then we've signed up some New Holland dealers just because they had that style of tractor for a lot of years. And then we have a lot of independent dealers that might have our Versatile tractor started at 175 horsepower, go up to over 600. And then there's companies that make tractors, up to 135. So we got dealers that sell our tractor and then sell a smaller line of tractor.
So would that go hand in hand with like Kubota? Isn't there a tie between Kubota and
Versatile is building a couple models of tractors for Kubota.
So
just
Kubota does
them.
not own Versatile or have anything to do with it. They're just basically contracting out their higher horsepower.
Just 3 models. Our smallest models that we make would be Kubota's biggest models. But I have nothing to do with that. I mean, they come off our assembly line in Canada. They're painted orange. There's a couple differences in the cab, and maybe some controls are a little different. But other than that, every year at the farm show, someone comes in and says, "Oh, there was an orange, Kubota Delta Track, which is our big track tractor. We seen one on a flatbed going down the interstate." It's like somebody photoshopped one on the internet one time. But boy, the rumor mill always fires up about National Farm Machinery Show, and
I'm sure you hear some doozies.
And then the other one I always get a kick out of is, well, my friend, he's pretty good friends with one of the higher ups at Kubota, and they're buying you next month. And then there was a rumor that one egg company come up to Versatile and threw a check down on the president's desk and said cash it and you're like it's
rumors,
not,
huh?
Yeah, so
It's hard to imagine at a farm show.
yeah.
So on a Versatile, your job description you said is to train dealers,
new dealers now. Yeah, so
are they Versatile only dealers, or are they just have other equipment as well?
so most of the time other equipment as well. Yeah, like some short lines or something like that. So
Okay.
Yep. It's a tough business signing up new dealers.
Really?
Yeah, we usually between the United States and Canada can get 6 to 10 new dealers a year. I know that don't sound like much, but when you look at the size of our tractors and everything that's out there, and then right now with all the supply chain issues and stuff, we can't even hardly get our tractors built that are on order.
Assuming that's affecting you like every other manufacturer.
So right now we don't really want to sign up any dealers at the time because we won't be able to get them a tractor for a year and a half.
Wow.
So.
Yep. So with that job, like let's say a dealership down the road signs up to become a Versatile dealer. Like, do you go in and like train them how to sell the machine, or like set up their display in the store?
Not so much set up a display. Like I'll go through our dealer portal, like how to order parts, how to sign up for service training, take the online courses. I do product training, help them with demos. how to order parts, and pretty much our procedures and stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah, but product demos is something I really stress. And so, me coming from the service side of it, like I feel like I know our tractor's really good. Of course, I've been in the seat of a lot of them and stuff too. So,
well, it seems like most of the farm shows you usually see you doing the demonstrations and stuff.
Yeah, I volunteer for it. This little secret will stay here.
Well, so that and the three people that listen.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't have any coworkers that'll listen to this anyways, probably. But the best kept secret at a farm progress show is doing the field demos, because it's the last week of August. It's 90 degrees. It's humid.
It's air conditioned.
And they're all working the lot, and you're out in an air conditioned tractor waiting in line to make your 3 little passes in the field. It's a good thing.
Right.
Kayla, remind me to share this to all Versatile fan pages.
Yeah. So no, I like doing the field demos. And a lot of the guys like to let me, because I've got a lot of seat time. And normally, I'm there helping set up the show and getting the piece of tillage set up before the show.
Yeah, that's one thing I've seen on your channel. It's very unique. Is you used to film the setup of the farm shows.
Sure.
And it's pretty neat seeing, like, you go to a farm machinery show and that building's gigantic.
Yes.
And it's pretty neat to see how it gets filled up throughout the week and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't do a lot of videos at the farm show, because anytime I do, Brian is the leader when it comes to most views for a farm progress show. I think that's my observation. I think of all the YouTubers that go to a farm show, I think you kick butt at getting the most views.
The secret is getting it out the very first day.
Well, right. Yes.
So last year at Farm Progress Show, I walked around the first day, made a video, and had it out by 10 o'clock.
Okay. So my advantage is I'm the only YouTuber right now that is there setting up a show.
Oh.
So I can give somebody...
You got like a pre-show.
I can give a little different thing, but yeah. So it's cool. People enjoy seeing that. Like Louisville, we lay the carpet down and then cover it with plastic, drive the machinery on. A lot of people had no idea that's how that all works.
I don't think many people that go to that show or know of that show realize the logistic nightmare that is involved in putting that on, or the fact that most of the companies hire like some of the big manufacturers, most of them hire like a marketing firm to set up the whole thing.
That's correct. Yeah, like our display counter and tower and stuff. I mean, that's all contracted out through another company, and they arrange to have it there. They got union people that put it up, and we don't have to mess with that. All I have to do is unload the stuff out in the parking lot, set it up, and then we have someone come wash it, and I drive it in, park it. And
you don't even have to wash it.
No.
Oh, man.
No.
Now, like if there's a high-speed disc coming in, do you have to set that up in the parking lot, or is it pretty well set up?
It's pretty well set up, but we have had to set up equipment. Sometimes we got to put doles on.
So there is actual work going on.
There's work. The secret is, or I think, is I want the equipment there a week before the show even starts, because I've been through all the growing pains where a snowstorm comes and then the guys 2 days later, like if you wait till like 2 days before the show starts to have your tractor show up, then they hit a snowstorm in North Dakota coming from the factory or something like that. So I always ask for the stuff to be there a full week before the show even starts. I get there early, get everything unloaded, set up, and then I can usually go home for like the weekend before the show. And then you don't have to fight the crowd trying to move your equipment in and out too.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, depending on where your lot is, you might not be able to get there 2 days before the show. No,
because I'll tell you, like the 2 days before the show, every company, no one wants to walk anymore. So everyone drives their cars in the show, and then they park them out in the midway. And if you're trying to drive a tractor in there with doles, forget it.
I figured it's probably a little bit like rush hour last minute. They're getting everything in.
Yes. Yep. So
you imagine like when we were at the virtual show. So I'll never forget. Me and Mike were getting ready to go run this Fury high-speed disc in a Delta Track. I'd never rode a Delta Track. So a Delta Track Monroe is like their big tractor with 4 tracks on it. It's an articulating tractor, and I was kind of excited to go riding this Delta Track. I'd never ridden one, and we're getting ready to start this thing up, and in pulls the biggest tractor ever made. I mean, it's literally the biggest tractor ever made. It's a Big Bud 747.
Wait, that's it. Yeah, the 747. Yeah,
and it is on dual 1400 LSW tires. The thing's 26 foot wide.
Wow!
Could you imagine trying to get that into Louisville?
Yeah. Wow! Yeah.
But the speed at which Mike dove out of that tractor to get that thing, I feared for my life. I was like, he's going to throw me out of his tractor to get to that.
Oh, you wanted to check it out?
Yeah, because no one knew it was coming.
Yeah,
really?
There's only one.
Yeah.
There's only one actual tractor, you mean?
Yes. There was only one of this model ever built.
Wow.
And
What is it? Is it dual V8 engines or is it a 16?
no, I think it's a 16-cylinder
Okay.
V. So would that be a V16 8 on the side?
V16?
I think so. I think it's a V16. Yes.
What's
Big
the
Detroit,
horsepower?
isn't it?
I believe so.
It's 1,100 horse, I think.
1,100 horse.
Yeah.
I think
You
it's-
ever need that much tractor
Well, for the country it's built in, I mean,
out west?
you're talking big prairie land where you might be in a 5,000 acre field, and at the time it was made, they were probably still plowing, I
Oh
imagine.
yeah.
What kind of plow could you pull with that?
A big one.
Yeah.
Like
It-
a moldboard plow or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chisel
They
plow?
don't do much moldboard plowing out there now. Everything's no-till.
But like when that
But back
tractor
in
was
the
made,
day, yeah.
I mean, that was probably made in what, 80?
Late 70s or 80s, but Havre, Montana. So,
So like the Welker Farm Boys, like they're known for big buds, and they've filmed a few videos with that tractor. I think a lot of people think they own that tractor.
Yes.
That's not their tractor.
no.
So is Big Bud the name of the company, or
It was, yes.
it was a one-off tractor then?
No, they
no.
made tractors for a long time.
Okay.
But
they
that
made,
was-
they made a lot of 500. The 525 was a popular tractor. When
But you're
500
talking about a time when like a bit like an average size tractor on most family farms is probably 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, a 500 horsepower tractor today is nothing. I mean, there's a dime a dozen. But back then, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of manufacturers that made a tractor that large, and they were built for those
Yeah.
big open.
Must not have had a big demand for it though.
It grew, but at one time, I mean, a big tractor, you had 250 horse tractor. And
Well, yeah, like the biggest tractor we had on the farm was an 8960. I mean,
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And today, by today's standards, that's not a big tractor
no,
anymore. I mean, our front wheel assist tractor has more power. than that.
Yes, exactly.
So on a tractor like that, would it be more efficient fuel-wise to have a big 1,100 horse tractor versus two 550s?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know, because
I guess my question is there a point to having one big tractor, one big piece of equipment?
Manpower.
yeah, manpower.
I
but
guess one
but
guy
the
can
thing
do
is,
twice
I don't
as
think
much.
any company makes an implement for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, the new tractors are more efficient,
Right.
of putting power to the ground and torque.
Like I say, they only made one, so there might be a reason there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah, but I want to say that tractor was sold to a farm, and then I want to say it spent a lot of its life pulling some kind of big, I don't want to say putting in tile, but some kind of a huge
Okay.
That might
land
hold a
plow
plow.
or something. And I want to
Like
say
a
that
land leveler, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. I want to say that tractor's either spent time in California or Florida doing some kind of more construction work.
Okay.
I think I heard that story. Of course, you hear so much stuff.
Yeah.
But originally, it was sold to that Williams brothers, I think, in.
Well, that's who
Big
owns it
Sandy.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, they have it now. But I think
They were the original
I
owners?
think they were the original owners. In
Okay, I didn't know
Big
that.
Sandy, Montana. So.
So until recently, that tractor had sat in a museum, and like when we seen it, it had sat so long that like they weren't even really going to drive it much because they were afraid all the hydraulic lines
Oh,
were going
wow.
to blow.
Yeah.
Like they had just started, like they had just put those new tires on it. The old ones had dry rotted off. I mean, that was really one of the first big public showings of
Yeah.
that machine. That's why, like, it had been sitting so long and no one had seen it in a long time. That's why Mike was so excited to see it.
No doubt.
And I don't think originally it had those big of tires on it.
No, they
that
were.
was something
Yeah,
Firestone.
Titan.
Yeah, Titan did.
Yeah.
I bet it's a head turner if you have it at a show. Huh?
yeah.
Oh, it's huge, man.
Yeah.
Like
And the tractor sounds mean too.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
They rev that thing up.
I mean,
you
a
know.
V16 engine, yeah, it's
yeah.
different.
doubt.
Yeah. So
So did you get to drive the tractor he dove out of then?
I rode in it. I rode in
Oh,
it.
okay. I thought maybe once he was out, I'm like, well, here we go. Here we go.
yeah, I would have let him drive it. But
Oh,
He didn't tell me that till now.
oh. Sometimes it's easier to ask for forgiveness than
yeah.
permission.
Yeah.
Unless you, I mean, that's probably pretty expensive though if you do mess something up on it.
$500,000.
Oh, that ain't nothing for a YouTuber like Brian.
1 month on YouTube.
Yeah, one month. One month on YouTube.
Yeah, 3 videos. You know.
3 weeks during harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's actually probably going to believe that and be like, I hate these guys. I'm unsubscribing now.
Oh, you can't please them all. I mean, you
Yeah.
get some pretty good haters, do you?
Oh yeah, and especially the last year. I don't know what's got into people. Used to get one occasionally here and there, and they're all fake accounts. A lot of
Inflation
times.
has hit your comment section. You're saying.
Yeah. They're all fake accounts though,
Yeah.
like you'll get this weird name that'll pop up. No subscribers, no content, but they go after my last like 6 videos making a comment. So yeah, I call them Jasons.
Jason's.
Shit.
We won't talk about that, but
Inside joke there.
Yeah, inside joke. But and then I'll put up with their crap for a little bit, and then you just gotta block.
Yeah, what do you block them then?
I do.
Just
yeah.
remove them from the channel. I was wondering what. Yeah,
It's so much like I think Ben said when he was on here that he's not blocked anyone yet. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to get to that point because, like, I used to not want to block anyone.
Right.
I'm very pro free speech. Let everyone say their piece, but at the end of the day, like. The only like this is my channel. You're affecting how I'm looking at my day.
Yeah,
nah, you're done. This is a privilege to be here, and you've lost it.
Yeah.
if your sole purpose is just to put negative comments on,
Yeah.
it.
And I can handle a lot of flack thrown at myself, but when they start insulting other people in the videos, that's what
right.
Like when people start insulting my family, you're out. You're done.
Yeah,
off
like,
limits.
Like I've done some live streams with my daughter in the tractor. Well, she'll read the comments to me, and I'll answer the questions. And some of the stuff people have said to her.
Really?
I can imagine. So we've had the similar.
Yeah.
So like one of the first times we had anything real bad like that, Kayla was doing a live stream with me, and I think we were sitting in the living room just doing a Q&A.
Yep.
And someone sent a super chat. And for those who don't know, on any live stream, I think after 10,000 subscribers, a viewer can send a super chat, which when you send a super chat, it's basically just a donation to the channel.
Oh, okay.
And when that happens, it highlights the comment, so it will stand out. So, like, if you're getting a lot of comments, you're going to see that super chat. Mm-hmm. Well, this person sent a super chat, and I always, acknowledge it when I get one and say thank you for supporting the channel and all this stuff. And that guy said, "How much for the girl?" And I said, someone's making a joke. I can handle a joke.
Yeah.
And like a few seconds later, Kayla nudges me. He goes, more money. Like he sent more, and he said, "Seriously, how much do you want for her?" And he on and on and on, and he got up to like $250.
Oh my!
Well, it's 250 Swedish crowns, which translates to about $13.
I think I remember hearing about this. I might have been watching that actually.
Are you the only one that could see that, or could your audience see that?
Everybody who's watching it live.
Yep.
can
Oh
see
really?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
now we have somebody who like monitors and gets rid of those people for us.
yeah. So there's one subscriber that's been following us forever, and I mean, and I proved him to be a moderator, so he'll delete some of that crap like when you see it. And,
Some people say really vulgar.
you can tell. I mean, it's very similar to like a video game chat room. I mean, you can tell the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like one guy he literally said he wanted to see my daughter and I get it on in the tractor.
Oh, wow.
Like this, like. Okay, I can take a little bit of slack. Like, there's a guy that likes to make comments about my gut. Okay, I can take that.
Right.
That's fine. But then when they started saying stuff to my daughter, that's like and then my mom was watching, and my mom's like. She's like on her, like, you got to remove this guy. And it's like, I'm driving the combine. But anyways, we learned that you can add a moderator and you can get people to go on there and knock those people off, too.
So you can knock them off before they show up on screen.
I mean, it's going to show up, but it's not going to stay there.
Oh.
Some comments will show up. They'll be censored, and you can like approve
that
or
too.
delete them.
Okay.
But I think you can go in there, and if you got someone really heckling you, you can just kick them off that live stream, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's different options.
Like I did a live stream a couple weeks ago, just sitting in front of the laptop, and I said, I was going on for about an hour, and I'm like, it's probably time to wrap this up, even though the questions are coming. This guy's like, why, do you got to go to the bathroom? I'm like, no. And he's like, you look like you need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I don't know what that look is, but I don't think the look on my face now is any different than it was.
You weren't going cross-eyed or anything like
and
that.
he just kept going on. No, I know you have. Like,
you look like you need to get off my YouTube.
Let
right?
it go,
I think, and as we were talking about off air, I think people just want attention.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I would
And here you are talking about their comment.
Yeah.
And if they knew about it, they'd be like, "Oh, he's still."
Well, you
talking
see
about
some
me.
YouTube channel. Like I remember, so Cole the Corn Star and I, like another ag YouTuber, we started at very similar times, and we would share our experiences. Like, I mean, just like you were talking about that agency and stuff. Like,
Yes.
that was the nice thing about talking with Cole a lot. Like, we would each get things like that, and we could kind of compare notes and see if stuff was legitimate or a scam and whatnot. And he does like, well, don't give the haters any attention. I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. And then you see people like Whistling Diesel, and he's basically made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like highlighting his haters, and he doesn't blur out their name. Like it probably is unhealthy mentally.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not mentally healthy to dwell on your haters like that. But
Can you be mentally healthy and do what he does?
See, you're going to get our podcast on his.
Yeah,
You're going to get us all that good publicity.
The thing I really like about him is he just did a video not recently about some Lamborghinis, and he's like, the people that hate me just bought me a Lamborghini or something like that.
True.
You know, and yeah,
He's an interesting one for sure.
He is.
You're the one that turned me on to his channel.
Yeah, I was at the Commodity Classic there, and some guy come up and was telling my daughter and I all about this channel, and that was probably 3 years ago or so, and I checked it out. I'm like, this dude's just wild. Like, this is great stuff. And,
See, Monroe is a neat freak, and he can't do it.
Well, I tell you what. So I get why he's doing it. I mean, all power to him making the money, finding a niche and all that. But I cannot watch his videos just because of the waste. I just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get it.
I
guess you could call me a hater, but I just can't even watch the videos. It makes me sick.
Yeah,
I'd love to have some of the stuff he destroyed.
Yeah, I don't think I could personally do it.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
but I don't know, but
it looks really fun.
It's good.
Like, to me, he's doing all the stuff I kind of want to do, but I can't bring myself to do.
Yeah.
I guess that's the other thing.
I would.
How much would somebody have to pay you to take a brand new truck and just destroy it?
I mean, I would love to take a brand new pickup and ramp it.
Yeah.
But I can't because that's my truck. Like, I got to make a living with this truck. Like, I can't afford to blow it to pieces. Like,
Plus, I feel like if I destroyed something like that, I would behind the scenes still want to fix it back up. Like, I just part with it. You know?
What really gets me, and I don't watch. I guess I don't really watch his YouTube, but I have seen some thumbnails where he's get some classic cars. I don't know. Has he destroyed any? Like that? He had that.
There's some I don't think he's ever.
So he's got a General Lee, and
but has he done anything with it?
Well, it's been MIA for a long time, and last time I seen he was getting some superchargers put on it or something like that.
No. Well, that's a little different than.
I mean, he definitely ran it pretty hard when he had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
well, like
that thing was doing some General Lee maneuvers in a cornfield.
Okay.
But he never totaled it yet.
He didn't destroy it.
I think he just bought a G-Wagon.
He did.
Seen, but and he said he wasn't going to do anything with it. But
I don't know.
What else does he? There's something else I think he bought that he never. He bought an old pickup truck, an old classic pickup.
He had it was like an old Dodge.
Yeah,
he got that from Ohio.
Yeah, okay.
Around Medina area.
Okay,
a buddy of mine knows the guy that had the truck,
Okay,
and
yeah.
you seen that truck, and he kept it pretty nice, and then I think he sold it and several others to buy the SEMA truck.
Okay, gotcha.
That's where I started seeing was that SEMA truck.
Okay.
Well, I think that's where I first heard about him. That's probably what really got him a lot of traction.
It did. I mean, it was a lot of money, but it was well worth investment.
I heard he fixed that up and sold it again.
No, he sold it as was to another guy. At least on YouTube.
He did not fix it. Okay.
And that guy, I think, made it drivable and left it as it is, like as far as cosmetically, and people flocked to it at shows. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the story of that. Could be wrong. I mean, I'm not a stalker.
Right.
I just know where he lives, but
okay.
No, I'm joking.
I got a pretty good idea where he lives in Indiana, and it looks like I think now he lives in Tennessee. I mean, that's just going by the background and stuff. But I get why he had to move away. I mean,
you're talking about Whistling Diesel.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even that brings up another subject for you and I. Like even just being a little over 100,000 subscribers. Like how many people seek us out at times? Like,
so the next YouTube video, I feel like there's going to be more because we put up a sign at the driveway and it has our address in it, and that address ain't blurred out. And
okay.
I was like, Kayla,
People find our address and send us stuff to our house.
So I don't know.
So it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well,
I'm curious to see how that changes things. But so far, we haven't had very many people.
okay. I've only had a few, but it's just
I keep telling you, there's this thing that keeps popping up on Facebook, advertising where you can go camping on people's farms.
Ooh.
Yeah, people will come park their camper.
Yeah, I've heard of some people. So there's a YouTube channel called The Wyoming Life, and it's a rather large livestock channel. And I think he does that.
okay.
Like, I think he does that, and that's how he gets farm labor.
Yeah. Oh, he gets people to come work for him.
I think so.
That's pretty cool.
Is that our Wyoming Life? Or?
Yes,
I've seen some of that. Yeah, I don't. It's hard for. I'm sure you're the same way. It's hard to try to watch other YouTube channels.
Yeah, that's one thing I've learned is like I never assume anyone watches. Like like if I'm talking to another YouTuber or another person that anybody like, there's so much stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
And basically all the people that I consider friends, I'll try to watch like one video a month just to see how they're
See
doing.
what's going on. Yep.
And there's just not enough time.
Right. No. And a lot of times if I'm watching other YouTube videos, it's not even a farming video.
Right.
I like snowmobiling, side-by-sides, truck stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I saw you had a real nice razor. Love that. That's pretty sweet.
I just got that. Ordered it last spring, and it come in.
Is it a
September.
Pro?
A Pro. Turbo. No, not
Turbo
a Pro.
S.
Turbo S.
Okay.
Turbo
It's
S. Yeah.
much better looking than the Pro, in my opinion. I'm not.
But the Pro has
do
a
you
bigger diffs, I think.
It has a smaller look.
Yeah, it
I'm
does
just
look
not a
small.
fan of. I don't know. I don't like how the way they look. They just don't look like a razor, I guess. But
So I almost ordered. I was just gonna get a 1000,
yeah,
and I thought I don't need a turbo.
Yeah.
And then I went to order it, and then there was 2 different color schemes you could get. My wife actually went with me, who likes to claim she has no say in any of my toys. And so it was like you could get black and orange or black and blue. So I asked my wife, "What do you think?" She goes, "Well, I like that black one out front the best." And the salesman said, "Well, that's a Turbo S. That's quite a bit more money." And I said, "Well, let's go look at it." So we went out and looked at it, and he's like, so he sold me. It was like MSRP was like another $6,000, but it wasn't just, you weren't paying $6,000 for a turbo. Like it was a wider.
So does it have the bigger diffs too?
I don't know that, but it has a wider stance, so different suspension.
bigger tires. Doesn't
Bigger
it?
tires.
30, doesn't it come up with like 30-inch
32s.
tires? 32s. That's
Oh, wow.
big
And
for
then
a stock
it's
machine.
got the roof on it. I mean, it's had the Polaris Ride Command in it. Like it had, you weren't just paying that money for the. So I'm like,
I mean, that thing's pretty much what a lot of people would build theirs too.
So if I was upgrading mine, that's what I do.
Right.
So my wife has a nice 2021 Ford Cedar,
okay,
but it's not a turbo.
yeah.
I like how you say it's mine.
I have a Roxor.
Yep. So yeah, I was always a 4-wheeler guy, and,
Right.
and then my youngest son who rode with me, he moved to Utah, so him and I don't get to ride together 4-wheelers anymore. I go out there snowmobiling, but so anyways, it's like, well, I buy a side-by-side, and my wife can go with me. And
Have you done much off-road trails as far as going to parks or anything?
no parks. We go over to a place called Haspin Acres in Laurel,
I saw that
Indiana.
video where he did. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's an off-road park, I guess. And
Well, I seen you rolled it a few days ago.
Oh, yeah.
How you feeling now?
My shoulder's a little sore because of the restraint, but yeah, I did a full roll and a half.
Might be able to beat him in an arm wrestling match today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did it have a 4-point harness in it?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's a darn good thing. Yeah.
First razor I ever drove, bought part of it. That was no good.
Okay.
I laid it over.
Yeah.
Guy told me they could drift really good. Well, I drifted it, and it didn't
Yeah,
drift.
they don't.
It don't drift no good at all.
You can be pretty wet outside.
Looked
Yeah.
like I hit a so over Easter weekend I was back up in Northeast Ohio, and the creek was dammed up. Beavers got into the creek
Yeah, I
and
seen
dammed
that.
up. So my uncle got an excavating company. He was going to dig out the beaver dam, one of the beaver dams. So my dad's got a Kubota UTV, so we're out there toying around and anyways, at the end of the day, we were driving around, and I thought, I'm just going to do this cool Brody in the field, or Brody, a donut. A lot of people, I guess, don't know the term Brody. That's what I always call it.
I've never heard it.
Okay.
heard of it.
I say a Brody, a donut. Okay. So anyways, went to do a donut, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 and I landed on my side.
So that was in the Razor?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was seeing stars.
Oh, really?
I
You hit pretty hard.
And I was seeing stars. So I turned it off immediately. So I undid the harness and I climbed out. And my dad goes, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah, just seeing stars." He backed his Kubota up and he said, "There's a chain in the bed." And hooked the chain up and pulled her over. Well, I had a flat tire. I popped one off the bead. So
That'd be the worst part is your old man sitting there watching.
yeah. So he watched me do stupid stuff because I was going up different places. My uncle, who has excavating company, had some dirt piles, and I was climbing some of those dirt piles that probably weren't meant to.
Well, some of the videos I've seen of you and the Razor, it looks like you're getting pretty brave.
Yeah. So anyways, then there was a couple other places I did. So anyways, my uncle was we had already dug the dam out, and my uncle was could just see the top of our heads over the field from his barn, and he called me and said, what are your dad and you doing over there? I said, "Oh, I got a flat tire on the Razor. I just rolled it." And I carry a jack and everything and a spare tire, so I was jacking it up, and he goes, "Oh," so he brought his wheel loader over with the
Just
pallet
picked it
for us,
up?
so we just picked it up
Oh,
and changed the tire. So then anyways, I rode a little bit longer, and then the next day we went to check the beaver dam to see if the water went down. So there was 2 dams. One was up here. We dug this one out, and we left the other one alone because their lodge was in there. And this one should have brought the water level down where it was okay for everybody. So anyways, we go down there, and I start walking across the beaver dam with a walking stick, and my dad goes, "You just never stop taking chances, do you? You're just always pushing your luck."
Did you hurt the machine any?
I scratched it up a little bit.
Okay.
Just some scratches.
So it just broke in then?
Yeah.
You need to go to Hatfield McCoy.
That's one of the reasons I bought it. So
Okay.
I hear a lot about Hatfield McCoy. And then this Rush, Kentucky, I've been hearing a lot about that. So
They just had a big event last weekend.
okay.
Yeah.
So
It's Rush is private property. Private property.
Well, they're
which I guess
both private property.
Hatfield is too, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
okay.
But Hatfield McCoy has 10 different trailheads.
I
Basic, yeah. It's
didn't realize how big it was till we booked that trip. I mean,
It's all over West Virginia pretty
Yeah.
much. But Rush is more technical, which would be good for your
That's
machine.
what I like. Is
You're
technical. Yeah.
technical. There's some stuff that I wouldn't attempt. I have a general,
Okay.
and I wouldn't attempt some of the stuff in it.
is that where you did that hill climb that you sent me the video of?
No, that was a Hatfield McCoy trail. I
Okay.
think off to the side.
Okay,
That was pretty mild. Though,
that looked
compared
like
to
looked like a electric right away, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was kind of off to the side.
Okay.
Just kind of a parking lot where people could do little hill
Gotcha.
climbs or whatnot. But I tell you what gives me the EBGBs is when you're going up the hill and you start teetering, like you're just about to go over if you misplace
yeah.
a tire. That's where I get a little bit nervous, and I don't have the 4-point harness like you do.
Okay.
Probably not near as good of a roll cage as you
Yeah.
do, but. Rush would be a good time. It's a little rougher, but
Yeah.
you have good suspension too.
Yeah. Well, Haspin, that place has a bad rap.
Is that what they call the Badlands of
No,
Indiana?
that's over in Attica.
Okay, I've heard of the Badlands.
That's supposed to be a
Indiana.
decent place.
We should go there sometime.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know how far you are from Indianapolis from here. Probably 3,
4 or 5?
4.
4
So
hours?
you'd probably be another hour and a half from Indy to.
I mean, Hatfield's I think is about 3.5.
Okay.
Isn't it?
3.5, yeah.
But no, I guess they got like sand dunes and a little bit of everything.
Oh,
there.
okay.
Haspin is about 700 acres of private property place, but it's all rutted out, rocks. I mean,
The parking lot looked huge in that place.
Yeah. There's a couple big parking lots actually.
So have you explored it all yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've probably been going there 15 years.
Oh, okay.
4-wheelers and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what do you like more, the off-roading like in a UTV or or ATV or snowmobiling? Because you do a lot of snowmobiling.
Snowmobiling.
I was going to ask about
Yeah.
snowmobile. You went to at least 4 or 5 different places just over the winter, didn't you? Man.
Yeah, snowmobiling. It's kind of a tie now, probably between the side-by-side and the snowmobiling, but I love snowmobiling. That's always been my favorite thing. So
Okay.
Something I've always wanted to try.
It just looks very cold.
Yeah, that would probably be the biggest drawback compared to side-by-side riding.
It's all about the gear too. I
Right.
mean, they make good clothing for it. Especially when we go out in the mountains in Utah and stuff. I mean, you don't night ride out there, and you got to carry safety equipment. I mean, you got to think ahead. Like, what if I had to spend the night in the woods?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
A little bit different than
you
riding
don't-
around and
yeah,
around home.
Yeah, you don't want to think like that, but you better carry something to build a fire and a saw and
Yeah, I saw that one video. You guys built a fire and heated your food up out there.
yeah. So,
Just make sure the camera's still
yeah.
recording real quick.
Are you taking a break?
Yeah, we can. So I remember when XM started becoming real popular, like Dad always subscribed. I mean, first off, it came in every Chevy vehicle.
Yes.
And that's where he got suckered. And he
Right.
still listens to Ag PhD pretty much, or
Okay.
whatever the Ag channel is on XM.
Yep.
But I always listened to audiobooks. Like that was always my thing in the tractor.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually my first podcast I ever did was with the Shark Farmer years ago, and it was on.
Yep, I listened to
Well,
that.
actually, did a podcast and then he did the radio interview for what is it, Rural
Yeah, that's the one that I always had.
RFD. Yeah. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What kind of podcast do you listen to when you're? I mean, you do a lot of driving for your job. So.
Yeah, I enjoy some of those Joe Rogan ones for
Yeah.
sure. I've tried to listen to some other farming ones, and some of them there was just a bunch of guys laughing and not really talking about nothing. And it's just like I can't take this.
Right, yeah.
But let's Shark Farmer, probably Shark Farmer the most. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
And,
he usually gets some
working words.
working
Heard
words.
that one's a good one.
Actually, I can say I've listened to
Listened to all of their
all of them. Yep.
Man, we got it. Yeah, that's great.
Loyal fan, top
yeah, we
fan.
do.
So, in your travel, is there any state you haven't been to yet?
Hawaii and Alaska.
I was going to say the two that aren't connected.
And there's no reason that I don't get to Alaska. My mom and stepdad actually have a cabin in Alaska. So they're leaving here, I think, next week, and they'll be up there till fall.
Really?
And then they come back to Ohio for the winter.
I don't blame them. Alaska. We
Yeah.
were there last summer for our anniversary.
Okay.
Beautiful place.
So there's no reason I have not been.
Well, yeah, it's not like you're not an outdoorsy kind of guy.
All my kids have been to Alaska to see my mom, and
So you do a lot of traveling in Canada too?
I did.
Because
I did.
How
but-
close have you been to Alaska, or do you not go that far west?
At Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, so I'm still...
Okay,
Yeah.
Alaska is a long way. If
yes.
you drive, it's a long ways out
Yes.
there.
So my mom and stepdad bought property up there, I don't know how many years ago, and then they pulled a camper up there from Ohio.
Oh, wow. That's miserable.
I think
Like
it
a
took
whole
them,
week?
I think it took them 10 days.
Really?
Yes.
Man.
And
I bet they were tired of
And
driving.
I don't think they've ever been, until they did that, other than flying to Alaska, I don't think they've ever been to the West. So they didn't know anything about prairie winds. So, an F-150 Ford pulling a camper.
Fishtailing.
And
Oh, Monroe's got a good story about that.
I think it was in the spring. It was April, because I remember I was working ground, and my mom was texting me where they were going, because she was driving across the prairies of the United States, so I knew everywhere they were, and was talking about different things. And then she's like, "What's with this? It's so windy today." I'm like, "Oh, the wind always blows in South Dakota or whatever. That's nothing new."
My uncle once said, when you hang a log chain onto the upright of a hay wagon and it's sticking straight out the back, you know it's windy. He was from Iowa.
Wow. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. It just seems like once you get out to Iowa and then farther west, it just
Kansas. Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Yeah.
Tell them your story, your driving across the country story.
With the RV?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so we decided to go to Moab, Utah to ride.
Yep.
We had this side by side, and we decided to go out west. Well, Tiffany's dad had went out before us.
That's his wife.
Okay, I figured. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, my father-in-law and her parents that went out west before us. We were going to meet him out there, but we had to pull two side by sides.
Okay.
Well, I had a toy hauler which could haul one of them, but I did not want to go all the way to Colorado or to Moab, pulling a toy hauler with a trailer behind the toy hauler. I knew that was a long way, so I'm like, well. So last minute, we decided to go RV shopping, and we
Okay.
buy this RV on a Sunday, and we leave on a Tuesday. We were supposed to leave that Saturday, really, but we were late because we decided to buy an RV
Okay.
last minute, and buy it, and I had to weld a hitch on it to hold the trailer.
This wasn't a brand new RV. Like, this thing had been sitting a while.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
that's the
okay,
thing. We
okay.
bought it off an old couple that hadn't used it in over a year.
Okay.
When I drove it home from Columbus, it was shaking from the tires having flat spots in them. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to need some work before we're going out
And he
west.
decides to drive it all the way to Moab.
And by the time I got home, this is, hour and 15-minute drive. By the time I got home, it was nice and smooth. I'm like, okay, it was just, it had been sitting for over a year. It had been winterized, never touched the year before. So it was a huge risk. And I packed all the tools I had in my garage in the one compartment. I said, I'm going prepared. And so we had to, of course, weld a hitch on it, beef up the hitch so it would pull the trailer with the side-by-sides, and we'd take off on Tuesday about noon by the time we get everything done. Had to wire in trailer wiring, brakes, trailer brakes, and all that. So we get to Cincinnati. We had to take a detour because of the road construction, or said the road was closed. We had to take a detour and got on some pretty heavy traffic. And all of a sudden I hear this grinding noise, and it's not wanting to go very well anymore. I'm hitting the gas, and we're just barely moving. I'm like, uh-oh, this ain't good. So we pull over, and I had my little bottle jack with me, jacked it up, and the front tire was just froze.
Okay.
So I figured the calipers from sitting that long, they
Yeah.
just, first time I hit the brakes pretty hard, it just locked up.
Okay.
Luckily, we got on the maps, and there's an AutoZone about half a mile just off the exit. So we pulled into the parking lot of the AutoZone, and I break out my tools and change the front brakes on it there in the parking lot. And I told Tiffany, I said, this has always been on my bucket list to change brakes in the AutoZone parking lot. So check that one off the bucket list. And then we hadn't done our grocery shopping yet for the trip. There was a Walmart about a quarter mile away. So here she goes, walking to Walmart. And then she comes back across the parking lot pushing this cart full of groceries. And it's like, we look like a couple of rednecks out here in the back of AutoZone. But anyways, that was the only trouble we had out of that. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I thought for sure, the stove wouldn't work, the fridge wouldn't work.
Right.
Everything was perfect.
I
the
don't
rest of the
think
trip.
I could get in any of my vehicles right now and have that easy of a trip.
Yeah.
So we got very fortunate, and I could tell it had been well taken care of compared to the other ones we had looked at.
Okay.
It was very good shape, but you just never know. Been sitting there that long, but one of the fun. So when we got to Kansas, anyway, so let's back up just a little bit. I started driving it, and this is our first RV we had ever driven.
Okay.
And if you've never driven an RV, they are top heavy compared to driving your truck.
Sure. Yep.
You get into a little bit of a swaying roadways, and that thing just feels like it's rocking back and forth. Tiffany's laying back there trying to take a nap, and she's like, "Don't you think you're driving a little fast?" And I was doing about 60, I think, at that time, and I didn't know what this thing would do pulling 6,000-pound trailer. I mean, this is a gas motor. This ain't no diesel like I'm used to, but it did 60 fine. I'm like, oh, I ain't going too fast. I don't think I'm doing 60. I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on it.
Yeah.
So we drive for several hours, and I lay down, take a nap, and she drives. I wake up a couple hours later, and I hear this, wham! And I'm like, what? I look, and the cruise is set at 75 miles an hour. We were going across Kansas, full tilt, and I'm like, now who's driving fast? He's like, well, that's a speed limit. I just thought I'd set the cruise, but we were gutting her, man, and it did good, but the wind, we had a headwind going out, and it's just like sucked the fuel noise, the life out of that thing. And I thought, coming back, we're going to have, it's going to be great, right? Come back. Wouldn't you know it, we had a north wind coming back. And my steering wheel, I kid you not, coming across Kansas, about 8 hours, I think, to come clear across Kansas. It was at about a 30-degree angle, turned left the whole way across Kansas. And I get to, we're getting fuel, and my tires are wore funny from just, it was crazy. I'm like, man, I've decided Kansas is very big and very windy.
Yep. Yeah, especially the western 2/3. The first third of Kansas is not
terrible. Out of Missouri.
Once you hit the Flint Hills, and then it just like opens up.
You've been across there a couple of times, I bet.
Yeah.
So of all the states that you've been to, what's your favorite?
I think Idaho. Yeah. Idaho, just something about Idaho. It's some of the prettiest farmland, and then it's all mountains. It's all irrigated farmland, so you go there in the summer, irrigated alfalfa fields, potatoes, big dairies, and then just mountains in the background. Northeast Utah, just north of Salt Lake City, where my son lives, is a lot like that too. So I got to watch what I say in case he listens, because somebody asked me that one time on an Instagram, and I said Idaho, and then I got the family. We have a family group chat, and one of my kids screenshot and said, "Well, Dad didn't even say Utah," or something like that.
So did he go to Salt Lake for work reasons? Or?
So all my kids went to Wright State University there in Beaver Creek, and so he was working. Andrew was working at a lumber yard in our hometown, or right by our hometown. And once he was ready to graduate college, he started hitting up some of the suppliers, the reps and stuff, and then he got on with the company. And he actually started a territory here in Ohio, and then that territory opened up, and he bid on the job and got it. So in 2017, he moved out there and found a place, and then once he had everything lined up, rented a big U-Haul. My wife and I hauled all his stuff out there, and
now you got a great place to snowmobile out of.
And we flew home, and we got to Utah probably. Because of work, I'm lucky I can pass through there a lot, so I probably get out there 4 or 5 times a year. So
that's another thing I was going to ask you. Like, when you snowmobile, I mean, do you try to, like, if you're out that way for work anyways, will you just hit it up?
Yes.
On the way back through?
So what I do, like in the wintertime, what I did is I had some dealers to call on in Washington and Idaho.
Try to tie work into it.
So what I did is work my way out there, spend a weekend with him, work out there for a week, then spend the next weekend. So get 2 weekends in a row. So,
Do you drive everywhere you go?
I try to.
Really?
I do. Now that my kids are all grown and not living, our daughter still lives at home, but she's 22, and just finishing up college. So, anyways, I prefer to drive. I hate flying because of all the people on airplanes.
Yeah.
Especially now with the mask thing. Well, I guess that's over, but just I don't know what it is about an airport. Everyone just thinks they're so important, and you just hear all these people like, "Oh, I got to really take an action. Hey, can you let me ahead of you? I got to really take an action." It's like, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
I was thinking last time we flew, some guy was like just barging through everybody on the stairs.
So I like to drive, and if I have to stay out 2 weeks, big deal.
Oh, so you're away from home 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah, if I have to.
Okay.
I don't mind. But now with doing this YouTube thing, like, it works out perfect. Like, I can line stuff up. Like, I hit Colorado in the middle of wheat harvest, and then I got a whole weekend to film.
Okay. So you try to plan a route, sort of?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Have multiple stops?
Yeah. Yeah, like last summer, we have a dealer. This is a crazy trip. I go clear down by Corpus Christi, Texas in July. Well, they're shelling corn down there already mid-July. And then I called on that dealer, spent a couple days there, did my thing, and then went up to Colorado for the weekend. And it was wheat harvest. So I knew a couple custom harvesters.
Yeah, just a 1,000-mile trip to
Yeah,
Colorado.
no
Not
deal.
too bad.
But then I had a couple stops up there for the next week, and then I worked my way home, and then I had to go to Wisconsin.
He says, I just went to Colorado for the weekend, like
Yeah,
it's
Texas.
close to Corpus Christi.
I know. But, I get home, 2.5 weeks later, about 5,000 miles.
Did you drive a truck?
Pickup truck.
Pickup truck? So you just get hotels? And
Yeah.
You do any Airbnbs or just hotels?
We have on vacation, but never.
So what's your point system of choice?
IHG, which is Holiday Inn, or Hampton, which Hilton property.
So is that all part of Holiday Inn?
No, Hilton.
Okay.
Hilton is like Hampton Inn, Hilton Garden Inn.
Okay, I thought
Stuff
those.
like that, and then Holiday Inn's like Holiday Inn Express, Holiday Inn, Crown Plaza.
Gotcha.
Holiday Inn has the best points program.
Well, every time any company rep comes out here for YouTube, I always give them advice on what hotel. Like, hey, there's a new Fairfield. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And will you have a Holiday Inn?
Yeah,
Every time.
Yeah, probably because their points system. Now I'm staying in Chillicothe tonight, but I'm staying at the Hampton Inn. I really don't know why I picked the Hampton Inn in Chillicothe, because I thought it's not like I'm going to get back early, but it's closer to the restaurants, which I already ate. Where the Holiday Inn Express in Chillicothe is kind of at the next exit down.
It's also where all the
it's by a truck stop.
and the lot lizards. Yep.
Yeah. It's by a truck stop. So
I only thought we had those two on Bridge Street, but
No, there's Holiday Inn right there behind the Pilot on Main Street.
guess I didn't even know it was there.
That's because it's in a bad part of town. Like you don't
Okay.
even know it's there.
when they built that at that exit, that was probably the exit that was supposed to take off and really
Yeah,
prosper. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that Bridge Street area where you're at.
I've stayed there before.
I mean, it's fairly. I mean, it's within the last 30 years. But I mean, like you say.
But yeah, that Fairfield, I seen that Fairfield right by the Hampton, right in that area, and then I saw Applebee's and I saw Roosters and. You guys watch Talladega Nights, right?
Yep.
So every time you see an Applebee's, do you say, "Hey, let's go see if we can get kicked out of an Applebee's"? I think of that every time.
I always say they have rats.
Yeah, right. I actually I sent a Snapchat. I ate at an Applebee's a couple weeks ago, and I sent a Snapchat of the sign, and I said Applebee's has rats. I found a whole rat in my Cobb salad. Even my own family members that know that joke thought I was serious.
That's in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ricky Bobby's dad.
You've never seen
out.
Talladega
I've watched it one time.
Oh man, there's some.
Days of Thunder is the one I have not watched yet, and I
So Monroe's a huge NASCAR fan. This surprises me.
Talladega
Nights. It's borderline silly, but yet
It's definitely not an
hilarious.
accurate depiction.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Me and my wife were was it Cal Naughton Jr. and Ricky Bobby for Halloween one time, so that was kind of fun. But I did watch it one time, but I didn't remember that line.
You can get on YouTube and just type in the Applebee's scene.
I love that movie.
The part that I remember, of course, is what do I do with my hands? That's probably the main one I remember.
Oh, there's so many good ones. I'm on fire.
the one of our favorites when Ricky Bobby's mom takes the grandkids and they're squirting water in there, and she comes out and gets strict with the kids, and she goes, "Uh-oh, she's gonna break us like wild horses."
Oh, I backed that up. My favorite line is probably, "If you ain't first, you're last."
Yeah.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You could be second. You could be third. Hell, you can even be fourth.
I was probably high when I said that. That was right after he got thrown out of Applebee's.
Modeled his whole life after that saying. You know how many miles? If you had to guess how many miles you would put on in a year?
Just looking at my company truck, I'm averaging about 50 a year on my company truck, and then I know I've rented vehicles, and then if you take, I'd say 70 to 75,000 a year. Yeah,
It's up there with the truckers, maybe. I don't know how much would a trucker.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
So 70, that'd be, let's say 6,000 miles, 1,500 a week. That's that's a good many miles.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some of the long distance truck drivers about 600 miles a day.
Yeah.
For over the road. I think some companies actually have a limit. You're only allowed to drive 600, but the most I ever drove in a day is like 1,100 and some, and that's a
That's a long day.
That's a big
That's
day.
Well, that's from here to Florida. My
Is
wife
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, depends on what part of
So
Florida.
we've went to Panama City like in one day, and
Yeah.
that's a long haul. I mean, that's 1,000 miles, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Panama City's the north part of Florida too, so I mean, it's,
so my father-in-law has a place in Florida that they go to every winter, and I know it's 1,100 miles, about 15 hours.
Yeah.
driving.
yeah.
But, hey,
I drove to Omaha in one day, and that was a haul. And then I proceeded to well, network. That's what I'll call it.
Yep.
Till the wee hours of the morning, and I was pretty beat for days after that.
Okay, sure.
When we come back from our Utah trip, we did drive from Lyman, Colorado, clear home.
Yeah.
That was a
That's
haul.
a big day because
That we left. I
That's
think
probably 30-some hours. Ain't
That's
it?
no. I want to say 18 hours.
that's probably right. We've drove from Lyman to my house, and you're another.
I tell you what, you need to get is a little RV. Them things are awesome. Like that's what ours is 23.5 foot. You can park in any parking space.
Okay.
And you just pull over and
Yeah,
wherever.
Yeah.
It don't have to be
Except
a truck
for that
stop.
whole 8 miles to not even 8. 8 would be great.
Well, you
4
can buy one of
to
them.
5?
You can buy one of them Mercedes that like
Them Mercedes cost like
$150,000.
I say.
I
200
priced one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them vans.
Yeah. But I priced one out like full bore, 4-wheel drive, bathroom.
Diesel.
Yeah. It was getting up around 250.
Yeah,
Right.
they're stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
Wonder-
But it is the way to travel, though. But yeah, I
it would
can
be.
totally understand the fuel mileage.
Well,
But
you're probably traveling solo 90% of the time, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, an RV ain't going to help him any.
No.
Yeah.
Like he can get up and
saving
go take a
hotels.
leak.
right,
Yeah. But
they got cruise.
yeah.
What movie was that in?
Somebody.
Hangover.
I think
He
that
set the cruise on the RV and he come back and started partying with the rest of them. Like, wait a minute, who's driving?
I guess you can do that on an airplane. Like if you got I heard guys with
Autopilot?
private jets
Autopilot.
and go back and use the
Well,
bathroom.
Teslas have that.
They do.
now.
Okay. Yeah.
You
You
got
got a
it.
Tesla motorhome.
There you go. Let me hear before you know it.
No, when we was in Idaho snowmobiling this winter, a guy pulled in with one of those Mercedes vans, and he opened the back doors and pulled a ramp out, backed the snowmobile out of there, shut all the doors, got back in, got all his snow gear on, and then hopped back out. And I'm like, that'd be the way to
That is the way
do
to
it,
go.
yeah, because it would be all heated and
Well, I mean, if you think about how much money you were to spend, stay in places,
Yeah.
versus if you were able to just pull over
Yeah,
wherever and didn't
yeah.
have to pay.
Yeah, but most of that's probably company time.
yeah,
I'm guessing.
yeah. If
Like,
it's for work,
Yeah, if it's company money, spend
if
it.
it's for work, and then hotel points are a big thing. So when I go on,
Right.
these weekend excursions of video, and then I can usually use points. So I shouldn't tell all my
And
secrets.
Wi-Fi is probably handy.
I'm gonna lose subscribers. yeah. Wi-Fi is nice because actually that's the nice thing. I'm in a hotel 3-4 nights a week.
Yeah.
On average, so that's when I edit my videos.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't. I mean, I'd say probably 90% of the time I don't even turn a TV on in a hotel room.
Right.
I just the computer. So yeah.
Yeah. When you're traveling, do you find that like having the opportunity to go film and stuff, does that make the time pass a lot?
Yes,
Make
definitely.
it bust up the monotony and whatnot?
Yeah, yeah. And most of the dealers I call on know what I do now. So, if I know I'm going to have, 3 hours or whatever, it's like, hey, they'll line up a farmer for me
okay.
and stuff. So that's pretty nice. Like I don't really have to beg people to go film. I mean, there's times I've been driving and I see something really cool, like something unique for farm equipment, and I'll wait till I'll turn around and wait till the guy gets to the end of the field. And
You ever had a gun pulled on you?
No.
I was going to say, do you get a lot of refusals?
Twice.
Twice?
Really?
Only
I
twice.
figured it'd
What?
be more than that.
No, only twice. And the one, I wanted to film a combine cutting wheat because it was like one of the first guys in wheat. And apparently the farmer's son was running it, and I stopped and I asked, I said, hey, just wondering if I could take a few shots of you, and told him what I did and stuff. And he said, I better call my dad. So I didn't want to be like I was pressuring the kid. So he shut the combine door, called his dad. He said, my dad said maybe another time, not today.
Okay.
I don't know if he explained it well to him. I think a lot of guys, like there's been some YouTubers that have went out to a farm and then totally like stopped the guy from doing what he was doing because they're like, oh, hey, I want this shot. Like I tell guys, you act like I'm not even here. I'm going to stay out of your way.
Right.
You don't have to worry about me. Just farm like nobody's standing here. And,
Right.
And that's the nice thing about a drone. Like you can chase them and
Get the shot
and
you
get your
want.
shots and stuff. But yeah, several years ago, there was a hydraulic company that builds components for Versatile, and they wanted to film tractor with big four-wheel drive tractor with a 3-point hitch on it. So I found one for him, and it was up at a big dairy farm, and they were pulling a manure drag line, where you're basically injecting the liquid manure and you're pulling this big hose around the field, and a guy's pumping it at the farm to this. And so you can't stop. Like, once you go, you have to go. Well, they wanted these close-up shots, and I had everything lined up with the dealer. They called the farmer. Everything was good. Well, the camera crew, this company hires this camera crew to go out there. Don't know a damn thing about farming.
Yeah.
So they get there right when the guy's moving fields. So this is like a 2-hour project to fold everything up, pull the hoses up. So the camera crew's pissed because now they have to wait 2 hours. So then they get to the field, and they want this guy to stop, and so they get this angle and that angle. Finally, I get a call from the dealer saying, don't ever ask us again.
Right.
So this was a farm that I got to film on before, and now I lost my opportunity to film there because they screwed it up for me. So, but, yeah. But no, but most of the time I don't have to. There's a new YouTuber I seen actually wants to charge people like to come out and film them because it has to because it costs them money to travel out to film somebody. I'm not going to say this, but I met someone at a farm show and they were starting this YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, okay, everything. And then I seen they had a post that I'm getting lots of requests for farmers that want me to come out and do videos on their farm, but I'm going to have to charge you to come out and do this. And I'm just...
Tell them for $1,000 you'll give them the secret of monetization on YouTube.
So I don't know. It just that kind of, and then you probably get it too. Like people come up to you at a farm show, you have no idea who they are, and they're like, "Hey, I got a YouTube channel. Could you give me a shout out?"
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
And I've gave shout outs before, but if I don't know you or know what your channel's about, like I'm not gonna. I mean, you give someone a shout out, then you look at their channel, and it's
Well, one way I've always looked at it, like if I give you a shout out, like if you're a brand new person and I give you a shout out, you're going to get some subscribers.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to get a bump. But are they going to come back and watch? Like, are they just going to be there?
Right.
Like, they're not going to. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to watch like a video, and if they don't like you, they're not going to come back.
Yes.
They might still be subscribed, but it's not going to do you any good,
Right.
at all,
Yeah.
and it's hurt my credibility.
exactly.
And-
Especially if you do a bunch of them. It's no different than doing the becoming a channel of commercials. You don't want to become the channel of shout outs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, like I've had people walk up to me and say, "Hey, I started a YouTube channel, and man, I just can't wait till I start making all this money." And I'm thinking to myself, "You're in it for the wrong reason now."
Right.
Like,
Well, to me, like the generation of YouTubers that I came up with, and like the generation you came up with, like I think most of us accidentally started making money.
yes,
Like I don't
that's
think any of
exactly
us
right.
set out to make content
Nope.
to make money. Like,
Nope.
I mean, it's a big part of why I do it now, obviously.
Right.
But like, I wasn't just sitting there thinking, like, man, I'm gonna make all this YouTube money any minute now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, if I could, it's all what you put into it. Like, could I quit my job in YouTube full time? I'm not going to take that risk. I put up videos when I can. I mean, ideally, you should put up 2 to 3 videos a week if you want to keep it going. There's times I put up 5 videos in a week, and then there's times I might go 3 weeks without putting up.
I don't even want to tell you when my last one was.
Yeah, but it's just my job comes first, and,
Right,
and family and stuff like that.
That's another thing with this style of YouTube. I mean, we're not making content. We're filming, what's going on. So like, if the shot gets missed, the shot gets missed. I ain't going to stop what I'm doing.
Yeah. Like, it never fails. Snowmobiling, the best stuff's not on video.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, just
I did notice on one of your snowmobiling videos, you talked about capturing the steepness of a hill.
Yeah.
Impossible, isn't it?
It is.
We've done that with side-by-side riding. It's like, it looks like nothing on the video. And that one video where the guy rolled a snowmobile, like, it looks like a little knoll.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
You gotta tip the camera. You gotta artificially.
There you
make
go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. Like, same thing. Every time I've thought that this is going to look great, and then you look almost like you're driving on flat ground.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What type of cameras do you use?
Mostly, I've been using the iPhone a lot for quick stuff, GoPros.
Okay.
And
I noticed a lot of, several shots I saw of the GoPro in the mirror. I'm like, man, to me, they look pretty good for doing GoPros.
Yeah.
My GoPro footage, and it might be a setting, but mine didn't look very good
Okay.
at
Are you using 4K?
Yeah.
all. Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll tell you some of the hills I've climbed with my Razor, and I'm holding a GoPro in the other hand. Probably not a good idea, but yeah.
Doesn't say that in the manual, does it?
No. But I got a lot of different camera mounts I bought and stuff, so I do a lot of where I turn the camera on, and then I do what I need to do, and then I just edit out the parts I don't use.
Yeah.
There's times farming, I'm driving a tractor, and I have no one to film me, where I've actually got out of the tractor, run down the field, set up a tripod, turn the camera on, run back in the tractor, and you got to leave enough room so you're up to speed, drive past the camera, then jump out, grab the camera, then you got to edit all. So you got like 2 minutes of footage to use like 15 seconds.
Right. Do you not use the app on your phone where you can turn it off? And
Sometimes.
It's easier just to do what he did.
Oh, really?
Just buy a big memory card and edit out what you.
Okay.
And
So a lot of times, like if I'm mounting something onto a machine, I'll just hit record as soon as I mount it. And
Okay.
I'll end up with like GoPro records video files in 17-minute increments. So I might end up with, however many 17-minute increments till the battery dies.
I see. Okay.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
So basically, you just, like you said, buy a big memory card and cut out your 3 seconds, delete the hour and a half of footage, and put a new
How
battery
easy
in
would
it.
it be, though, if you could set the camera up and it would just take your 3 seconds and that's it?
So I think there might be a way, but I've yet to figure it out. That basically, I think you could set up a GoPro to where it'll be recording continuously, and when you hit stop, it'll save the last 3 minutes.
Oh.
That would be great, but I've yet to figure out how to do that.
I've often thought, so on my Canon, I thought it'd be nice to be able to set it up because I do carpentry, so sometimes I'll set the camera on the ground and I'll get on the roof. It'd be nice to be able to set it up to record for 5 minutes and shut off itself. Like, I don't have to climb back down and shut the camera
Right,
off.
yeah.
But I don't know if there is such a setting.
I don't know.
Just
Not sure about that. There is the deal where you can talk voice command to GoPro.
right. Have you tried that?
My son uses it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never tried that, but I did see that.
It works.
And I think you can, like, talking about missing shots on snowmobiles, I think you can do a loop recording.
Yeah.
And it just continues 5-minute loop or
You
something
probably
like that.
could,
And then you
yeah.
just tell it to save.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
The problem snowmobiling is the cold weather, so the batteries don't last long.
I always have mine plugged in.
Yeah.
The batteries are a big disappointment for me.
So the newer ones are a lot better.
Yeah, and
They
then,
are?
And
About
then
an hour
I
and
guess,
a half.
I guess they have this enduro battery that's supposed to be like cold weather now. Okay, but no, the GoPros keep getting better in my opinion, and the Hero 10.
what are
is-
they up to now? 10?
The Hero 10. Yeah.
Okay, I have the 5.
It's definitely the better. I mean, it's
I feel
quicker.
like you had a lot of trouble with your 7.
I've had a lot of trouble with all
Freezing.
of them. All of them.
See, mine I did. Maybe once. My 5
My
is
10s, my 7s. I
Really? Okay.
had a 9 that I took it through TSA, and then it never turned on again. Like I took it to Hawaii with us on our anniversary trip, and I got to Hawaii. I went to turn it on, and
And you thought that machine was just making sure you weren't carrying any weapons.
well, they say it's okay for cameras. Well, it fried that one. I mean, I don't know what else fried it. It don't
Yeah.
work anymore.
Right.
But every time I've had a 10 freeze, it's been plugged into power,
Oh.
or it's been plugged into a media mod. Like I don't use the media mod anymore
Okay.
because of that.
I've heard you talk about that in videos and some other guys, but I think my 7 was the one that used to freeze a lot. But I've had pretty darn good luck with.
So the
GoPros.
10's definitely been the best.
Yeah.
Like I say, as long as I don't have it plugged into constant battery.
Okay.
So I was trying to do a time lapse when we built a hoop barn.
Okay.
And I had it sitting plugged into a battery pack, and it had a corrupted file when I went to edit the video.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's what I do most with my GoPros time lapses, but it may be 4 or 6 hours worth of time lapse.
Yeah.
So I just always just plug them in. I have a battery pack that mounts on the tripod, and that's the only thing I feel like that's foolproof for me. As long as you don't forget to turn the battery pack on.
So that's what I used to do, but with the 10, I don't anymore. The battery lasts pretty good, so just haven't worried about it. Now, the Instant 360 camera I got, battery life on it's 2.5, 3 hours. I mean, so far, I really like it quite a bit.
Okay. The GoPro Fusion, I think, was their first 360 camera a couple years ago. I bought one, and the footage is really hard to edit, so I've been taking pictures. Well, anyways, I scratched it's got a screen on both sides. I scratched it. and it screwed up
noticeable.
the picture. Very noticeable. So, anyways, I for some reason actually bought the Best Buy. What do they call it?
Their insurance policy,
accidental or whatever protection plan. And I was like, I wonder if I did. And I looked it up, and sure enough, I bought the protection plan 4 days before the thing expired. So I took it in, and I'm like, if they tell me no, it's not a big deal. And the guy looked at it, he said, well, I'm sure they'll put a new lens in it and blah, 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 and they send it off. And nope, I got a full credit, and now the new one is called the GoPro Max, I think.
Yeah.
So I got the new Max. I haven't set it up yet, but anyways.
I like that 360 camera because, I mean, it's similar. I mean, it's difficult to edit.
Yeah.
You have to use their app to edit the footage, but
okay.
I like it because on a tractor, I can set it at a place, and I'll have multiple angles of the same shot without moving the camera.
Sure.
And you can set it to pan. Like, I can set it to follow me if I'm walking.
Okay.
Like, it has a lot of cool different opportunities.
I need to get into it more. I've seen some, like, snowmobile ATV guys use it. And it does some cool stuff for sure.
Yeah, like with the Instant 360, I assume the GoPro would be similar. The way it stitches the images together, like you can't see a selfie stick when you hold it out.
That's the way that this is too.
It looks like you got a plane following you around.
Yeah.
But
so speaking of that, I'm going to bring up something on YouTube. So that they tell you your average video needs to be 10 to 20 minutes for that. That's what people want to see. And I was watching snowmobile videos, and this video pops up of this guy. And I'm like, who is this guy? This video is like 2.5 hours long. And it's a guy riding a snowmobile, and you see his hand out here like this. And I knew he was using one of them 360 cameras. And this guy's like, I look at his channel, and he's got like, I think 700,000 subscribers. All his videos are an hour, 2 hours.
What?
Just huge. Like, he's doing everything wrong. And I wouldn't say, I mean, he does some logging and stuff like that. And it's like he's doing everything they tell you not to do, but he's got a channel with like millions of views and millions isn't I guess considered a big deal, but he's got like I think he had like 700,000 subscribers. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder how many views did his videos get? Though?
A lot.
Oh, really?
Like, I was surprised. Yeah.
and he's just holding that camera out there.
Yeah. Like he does other things
Okay.
too, but a lot of it, I wouldn't call it like great snowmobile footage compared to some of the other stuff that's out there because he's riding with one hand. But it was just.
Well, I've seen some channels, and I mean, you were at this event where I met this individual, and never heard of the channel. I mean, I'd never heard of his brand, and I went and looked him up, and huge channel.
I think I know who was it at the Commodity Classic?
It was.
Yep.
And his channel is bigger than almost everybody else's channel that was on that stage with him.
Yep.
He still grows at like 1,000 subs a day.
Yep.
And he probably gets 20,000 views a day. I don't know how he does that.
Yep.
Like, it seems very odd to me.
Yeah, I see mysteries like that too. Like these people have this huge following, but they don't.
They don't turn any of them back out. I mean,
Yeah.
And I mean, when your average view, I mean, 20,000 views a day is not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
But when you have 700,000 subscribers
Right.
and you're putting a video out every day,
Yes.
it kind of makes you wonder. Like,
Yep.
like I don't know if you can buy subscribers, but it
think you
kind of
can.
makes you wonder.
I think you can. I know they say you can on Instagram.
But on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen it where you'll lose like 1,000 subscribers or 300 subscribers one day, and I've always heard that's where they're scrubbing the bots.
Okay.
Like going through and finding accounts that are inactive or
Yeah. So like for like my deal I got with Timberland Pro for Instagram and stuff, like, so this company gets a hold of you that does this and
is it through a marketing agency?
Yeah. And they contact you and kind of feel you out and ask if you'd be interested. And then the first thing they ask for is analytics, your analytics. Because there are channels that bought a bunch of followers, but then they don't have. But I guess you can buy likes too.
Okay.
Oh man!
So I don't know,
Nothing's
but
real,
I
is
guess
what
they
you're
can tell if you send your actual analytics. I guess they can somehow tell if
it's organic or
real.
fake.
Yes.
I wonder if they can tell if you've ever paid for likes or.
I'm not sure about that.
I would say if you were buying subscribers and there was just a huge discrepancy in audience engagement.
Yeah.
But that said, I mean, have you ever looked at your analytics and realized like my Instagram is around 50,000, and I think somewhere in there you can kind of tell how many people are seeing your stuff, and it's like a fifth of that.
Yeah, that's what's a mystery too. Like YouTube is the one that blows my mind. Like, I can put a farm video up, and I got several videos over 1 million views, And then I could put a snowmobile video on my channel or a UTV. It'll get 2,500 views. Then I throw a tractor video up, 25,000. Like, people don't watch my channel for anything non-farming.
Yes, I've learned that too.
But it's like, this is what I do.
Right.
And I'm going to post it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how algorithms work. I mean,
Yeah.
So I've never been one to claim, like, usually when someone says they're shadow banned, I laugh. Like, hey, you're trying to, like, either stir people up or you just can't accept that it might be you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But one thing that does strike me as interesting. So in Dad's office, he has a TV, and it's on YouTube all the time. And, I mean, he watches a lot of channels, but probably well over 50% of the time he watches my videos on that TV.
Okay. Yep.
And a lot of the times that TV will be on, when he goes to get on it, he will search for my channel.
Okay.
What blows me away is that when you go to that YouTube account on that TV, you click home, none of my videos will be on that screen.
Yep.
I'll see Zach's videos. I'll
Yep.
see Larson's
Yep.
videos. I'll see your videos.
Yep.
I'll see everyone but my videos.
Yep.
I'm like, when you go to the search history on this channel, though, it's almost always my videos he's searching for.
Yeah.
Like, that's really strange to me how that works.
Yeah. No, because there's times, like, I've played one of my videos, like, after it's posted, to watch the whole thing. And then YouTube is bound to determine at some time, I'm going to watch this channel. And it keeps suggesting, like, one time it might be you.
Yep.
And I might go watch somebody else's video, and then up next, it's you. Like, it goes in spurts. Like, for the whole day, it's bound to determine my next video is going to
So
be you.
Dad is
And then-
for whatever reason, his TV is really thinking we like Welker Farms live streams, because every time I go in the office, there's a Welker Farms live stream rolling. So Nick, we're really helping out your watch time there, buddy.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're doing that because he's already watching your videos. They don't feel the need to put your videos into suggested, maybe.
I don't know, but it really sucks for me
Yeah,
because
I
that's
guess.
where most of your views come from, is the video that's up next.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or also, like, if you have a dedicated follower that likes to watch your
That's what I'm saying.
videos,
Like,
well,
I'm not worried about Dad, but it kind of makes me wonder, like,
Yeah.
people that do watch us, like, what are they seeing on their end, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone ever figures it out, I'd love to know. I mean, there's videos on there telling you how to grow your channel.
And you ever wonder if they're just making their money telling you how to make money?
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of like we was talking about Instagram followers. Like, I'll get a message on my Instagram from this company saying that if I pay them X amount, they'll give me 1,000 followers. If I pay this amount, they'll give me 5,000 followers. And then they got like 103 followers. And it's like, okay, if your service is so great, why don't you have like millions of followers?
Right.
You know. So
right.
yeah.
What would you say is your favorite thing about YouTubing?
Well, it's opportunities like this. Like, I probably would have never met Brian and a lot of the other people, and we're all just kind of a pretty cool group, I think.
Getting to meet people.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Which you already travel for your work,
yes.
but it kind of adds an element to it, I guess.
At times it's overwhelming, but I mean, it is pretty cool when you're at a farm show and all these people come up and they're like, man, that time you was out in Colorado, or man, that corn silage video you did up in Van Wert County, or just, I mean.
You ever have anybody bring up a video and you're like, man, I don't remember what I did in that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
after what, 1,300 you said?
Yeah, I think
it'd be hard to remember all of them.
Well, when you see the comments, like, do you use the studio app?
I do.
So you see that app, and like, you'll see a comment, and well, hell, it might be from a video from 2 years ago. And, like, they're talking about one specific thing you did in that video. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I imagine it'd be hard. What's the worst thing about YouTube?
Well, like at the National Farm Machinery Show, so many people were lined up to talk to me, and I wanted to go to the bathroom and take a leak. And it took me 45 minutes to get to the bathroom, and then some guy wanted to shake my hand in the bathroom. It's like, wait a minute.
So at shows, I mean, does it ever get hard to do your job because of the YouTube?
Yeah, actually,
I mean, does the company just kind of accept it?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, does it kind of balance that? Will it bring people to the
Oh,
your
it
booth?
I think it definitely does.
I mean, you were giving away 100 hats every day.
Yeah.
I mean, by 8 o'clock, they were gone.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I mean. Like,
it brings people, and we got enough other people working there. Like, if somebody has a specific question,
right.
And now that I'm not in service anymore, and I'm doing dealer development, so now that kind of frees up. If someone's got a service question, they can go ask someone else. But a lot of people still want my opinion on something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
being in the space being in the ag space, like, you've probably done more for Versatile marketing than Versatile has in the last 30 years.
I'd say, and a lot of my coworkers would agree with you on that.
I mean,
too,
I think that's
sure.
why people, they associate you with Versatile.
Exactly. It's kind of like, I've had comments when I've filmed a big bud, and people are like, you can't film that because that's Welker's. They're like, or you're the only person that can, run a Gleaner combine. Or, I mean, there's people like that too. They get mad, like, if you, like, are cutting into something.
So I had a fella, this is one thing I wanted to ask you and I completely forgot about. I had so I post our old videos on Facebook, like if I remember to, like several weeks after the fact.
Okay.
And someone commented on a video where we were running one of our John Deere tractors. We were doing some tillage work. They're talking, I believe the comment was something along the lines of, I can't believe a farmer would still buy a John Deere being that they can't work on it. So coming from service, like I'm sure you've talked about this before, but like it's my understanding that when it comes to right to repair, it's not just John Deere either. I mean, isn't every company that's basically on the same camp as John?
I believe so.
And I think a lot of people have the misconception that you can't even change the oil in it. I mean, you're talking about changing computer software for a lot of a lot of things that the average farmer is not going to do, or the average consumer.
Exactly. And me being a guy who's put a lot of software in the tractors and stuff, you don't want just anybody.
Well, so you say there's a right to repair, like.
So that's what it's been called. I don't know if that's what the actual bill is called or the actual. Like that's how I've heard it labeled.
I think it's pretty much the companies are trying to protect their rights to.
Each company has their own.
No, I mean, it's basically saying that, like, I've heard it described as John Deere owns the software in your tractor, and you cannot go in there and alter that software because you're breaking emissions, you're affecting how that tractor is going to perform. I mean, you're going to get into warranty issues.
So it's more software related than not mechanical?
I would say more.
Yeah, there's no, like, John Deere's not going to care if you replace a light bulb in your headlight.
Right.
Or anything that
you're pretty capable of doing, or pretty simple job.
And I think that's a huge misconception that I've gathered.
Well, when you say right to repair, that threw up a bunch of red flags. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, I think that name of the issue is why it gets so many people riled up.
It does seem,
and I think, like, if you look at automotive, I mean, you got your dealers, and then you got a bunch of automotive repair shops. So they make universal tools for automobiles, but farm equipment's never going to be there because there isn't the population of big tractors and combines out there like there is cars.
Yep.
I mean, pretty much every household owns at least one automobile or two or three, and how many combines are out there compared to a car?
So I know a fella who had he had a similar position that you used to have for the Green brand.
Okay.
And his vehicle was swiped in Louisville.
Okay.
And all of his computer software was in that vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, everything he would have for work was, it was his work car.
Yeah.
And I think it's hilarious that, some crackhead stole that vehicle, didn't realize they probably could have pirated that crap for $50,000 and probably threw it in the river when they couldn't look at porn on it.
Right. No, that was actually me that did that.
It's all in the black market.
Taking out a competitor.
That. Yeah. That car's currently up at the factory getting. No, but.
I mean, is that something you hear, though, people?
Not too much. I mean, they were trying to make a big deal about it a little while ago, but you don't hear a lot about it. No, but again, that's stuff that gets misinterpreted and.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds way worse than it is.
Bad, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, one YouTuber says one thing bad about a machine, and then everybody remembers. I mean, you guys got Gleaner combines. You know damn well Gleaner makes a great combine, but someone started calling Gleaners a silver cedar 30 years ago, and now people, and anytime I post a Gleaner picture, I get at least one or two comments, oh, silver cedar. Like, that comment just fires
cedar
me
as
up.
in seeding.
Yeah, because they say it's coming out the back, but that joke is so old, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, there's a TikToker who's made a very big presence making fun of Gleaner combines.
The way he's kind of.
I think it's all a joke with
funny.
it.
Yeah. I secretly think he wants a Gleaner. That's what I think.
So when I posted the first TikTok of ours, I mean, I got multiple people tagging me in it. I was like, hey, you got an open invitation to come run it anytime you want.
Yeah. The Gleaner guy, did you ever see him on TikTok?
Yes.
I met him at Louisville, and I mean,
I didn't realize he was there.
Yeah, he's a great dude. anyways, he actually did a thing where he was just flying through the field with a gleaner and literally just turned the key off and went back and showed you the whole thing.
Oh, really?
So we did that.
Yeah.
Like I had a guy from Ohio Ag down, and we did a hard stop or whatever they call it, and everything about it feels wrong.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you got a machine running full idle, full of crop, and you're just turning the key off.
Yeah.
But you're doing that to see how the grain is flowing through the machine, so you know what to set up or what to change.
Gotcha. So you're looking into the back of the combine.
Yeah,
everything.
But that way you can open up your concaves or look in your rotor
instead of
and
letting
see.
it empty itself out. Okay.
Yeah, like
gotcha.
you can tell, like if you have loss, like if you're throwing corn out, or like if corn is moving through the processor or through the separation system still on the cob. Well, if it goes through the machine, it's going to get chopped to bits by the separator. You're not going to see it still on the cob unless you do something like that.
Okay.
So
never heard of that.
Yeah, no, they've done it for years.
I mean, it's actually, I think it's company accepted. I mean, that's in a manual somewhere.
I think technically, though, because of turbos and if the engine's hot, now guys will do it and then immediately start the engine back, let the engine run at least, so and then just the separator and everything shut off. But
not to bring in another racing reference, but that's the way they did in NASCAR at times. Back when they had carbureted engines, they would at the finish line, if they were qualifying, wide open throttle, turn the ignition off while holding the throttle, and you can tell how much fuel each. You can inspect the spark plugs, and because it shut off at full throttle without letting it coast and balance out. So kind of a similar concept, really.
Yeah. But then again, I don't want a machine running. If I'm opening up shields on a combine and stuff, I don't want the engine running. Like
no.
Yeah.
Especially on a gleaner. I mean, you're sitting by the engine to look at all that stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yep. But yeah, it is kind of funny how, like you say, you get that bad public image and it kind of hangs around.
Oh yeah. Like that's the thing. Like any brand of combine or tractor up there can catch on fire. Like if all the elements are right, like trash is built up or whatever.
Every one of them is one bad bearing away.
Yes. But it never fails. There's one brand that can get away with anything. Nobody will say a word. But like my brand, like if a Versatile would somehow catch on fire, someone will post that picture and everyone will send it to me. What happened? Oh, I wouldn't buy one of those. It burned up. It's like, okay, well, one of ours burned up, but 100 of that other brand burn up. But we can't talk about that. Like the farmer clearly something,
Yeah.
Of course, as a rep for the company, you get all that personally.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not going to get the ones where this thing's got so many 100 hours on it and never had
there's always two sides of the story.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the worst thing a person can do, though, is if something breaks, you got something under warranty, something breaks, why someone would take a picture and just put it out there for the whole world to see without before they even call the dealer, like, to come fix it or what the company's going to do. Like, you got to give someone a chance to correct it before, if you want to go badmouth it because they said, oh, we're not going to take care of you.
But think of all the likes they'll get on social media.
Yeah, but
I definitely think there's ways to handle stuff like that. So we had a transmission coupler go out on our gleaner. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
That's why we got a warranty with it. And had it as good as new and pretty quick and, back to business as usual.
If you mention that, though, say, hey, but dealer come out, had us running. I talked to a guy, a custom harvester, started running gleaners. They had a transmission go out. Okay, something wasn't set right from the factory, but the harvest tech crew was out there. I think by the time they got the call, they had his combine running in like 4 hours or something. Just took him out a new transmission, swapped transmissions. He was back running. He's like, how can you say anything bad about that? Like, that's. Yeah. Now, if he was going down the road and going through the middle of town on the move or something,
well, I've heard of hydros going out on other brands too. It happens.
Exactly. So
I know the grass always looks greener on the other side till you talk to someone who's running the other side.
Yeah.
That's also a very complicated machine. A lot of moving parts in that.
Yeah.
To have one little thing go wrong, like you said, a bearing can burn it up. So it's. You're expecting a lot out of it, which I'm sure they're, as they
do cost $500,000.
Yeah.
Good point. You got a lot of reason to expect a lot.
Yeah.
But I took, when I worked for Gale, we actually had a seminar with a fire marshal, that did fire inspections and stuff. And stuff that the average person wouldn't even think about, like a machine burning down, and how they can go in and find it, or even like arson on a house. Like, I think a lot of people are just like, like probably a lot of the arsonists or whatever, just they throw some gas in there, set it on fire, and say it was electrical. Like, no, they can go in there and pinpoint. Like,
it's amazing what they can find.
I learned so much taking that guy's class.
If you need a house fire, just let my wife power wash your porch.
Okay.
Just don't call Brian's fire rescue.
Yeah, but like one time there was a machine that had caught on fire, and that gets into a fight because people were like, I want warranty. Like, it was clearly, a wire shorted out. Like, that's always the thing. It's under warranty. And then they're like, no, it's the insurance company. And then a fire inspector gets involved. And I mean, there's times a cigarette butt caused, there was some debris on the machine, and someone threw a cigarette butt out the window or something, and it caught some stuff on fire. And, you got a bunch of dry matter on your machine or something, and then once a tire catches or a fuel tank melts through, that's the
thing. They're all plastic fuel cells on combines.
Yeah.
I'd say once you dump the fuel on it, it's done.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've heard of. So I mean, have you ever watched Mike Mitchell?
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the Ideal Burn?
Yes. Yeah.
I've talked to Mike. I mean, I talk to him somewhat regular, and the way he described it, the guy running that machine barely made it out of it.
Okay.
Like, whenever, I mean, it happened back there on the chopper. Mm-hmm. There's no, the only warning he got was when the chopper speed slowed.
Okay. Wow.
I think it was a chopper. It might have been a rotor bearing. But either way, he got a low speed warning.
I watched the video, but it was I think it was 2 summers ago, maybe.
Or something like that. But I think that fuel tank had melted before he got out.
Okay, wow.
And the glass was blowing out of the cab shortly after he got out of it.
Yeah, but again, so there's a prime example. I don't know how many of those machines they have, but they run quite a few. One caught fire. I know a guy in Illinois that's got a couple of those combines, loves them. Greatest thing ever. But I did a video of his, and the main comment was, ask Mike Mitchell what he thinks about his. Apparently they've had some trouble, but it's a new machine, new to this country.
So in Mike's defense, he's gave some criticisms. I think he's been pretty fair in how he's handled it, though. I mean, it hasn't been this thing's a piece of shit.
Okay.
I mean, he's been very.
But that's the way people see it.
Yes,
like, if he said something's bad, then automatically.
Yep.
Like, people get upset with me because I work for Versatile, and then the farmer that I help has a lot of John Deere stuff, and people just cannot comprehend when they see me driving a John Deere tractor. I mean, I'll drive anything if I'm helping somebody or whatever, but people just like, why are you, like, some guy actually wrote a letter to Versatiles wanting to know why they sponsor me when all I do is show off my John Deere equipment. It's like,
clearly watches the channel a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Why they sponsor you.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's the other thing. People come to farm show. Now, how'd you get associated with Versatile? Like, why are they sponsoring you? I'm like, well, no, I work for them. They're not sponsoring me. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, just how people see things. So
earlier we were saying something about stolen videos, and I've had a couple. I mean, they've never really went very far. Like, I've never really had. A couple of them were companies I was working with. They just reposted them.
Sure.
And then I think one of them, some hacker swiped one of my videos and re-downloaded and reposted it. I mean, you've had that happen a few times.
Quite a few. So a couple different ways, and YouTube's actually got software now to catch that.
Yep.
I actually had someone send me a message probably about 5 years ago saying, hey, go check out YouTube channel such and such. They are posting a bunch of your videos. I mean, a lot of your videos. I go to this YouTube channel. He's got 92 videos on his channel. 90 of them were mine. And he left my name at the end, video by Mike West or Farmhand Mike. And you could report that, and YouTube will take them down within.
Well, didn't you have one, though, like of a big bud pulling a mowboard plow?
Yes.
And they got millions of views on someone else's channel?
Yes. So then the other thing you'll get is, like, I went to a plow day that had 2 big bud tractors. One was pulling a 21 bottom plow. One was pulling an 18 bottom plow. So these people, they'll make a video, like this weird channel name, like, it'll be like world's top 10 biggest tractors. Right. So they might take like 4 minutes of my video.
Yep.
They might take like 4 minutes of somebody else's video with some big tractors, and they'll put this, combo video together, but it's got 4 minutes of my footage in it, And
that was unpaid for.
Yes. And I report those. I mean, I'm not going for that.
Right.
I think people think, oh, he won't care. Like, he's already posted the video. But, there's times I drove or I get out to a farm and say they're moving fields and I have to wait an hour. Or,
right.
It's not just as easy as going out there and just taking a couple pictures. And
You want our beer?
Sure.
So is there a copyright, like a time limit that they can borrow? Like, I guess technically probably not supposed to borrow or steal any part of anybody's video.
I clearly have in my information that all my stuff is, because I actually trademarked Farmhand Mike.
Okay.
So it costs some money and it's time consuming. It's a process, but
So it's actually legally binding then.
Yeah, I actually did that because I was like, what's going to stop somebody someday from doing the same thing, taking the name, and then here I am. I got a YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers, and then somebody says they own that.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
I figured it's a small price to pay because a trademark's good for 10 years. But there's the other thing I didn't know is there's it took forever to find an attorney that actually does trademarks. And I got one out of Cincinnati that was referred to me, and they were great to work with. But there's 34 or 40 some different trademark classes, of different things. And if it's in another country, not much.
Well, it's like you remember, so working with Farm Focus for my merch, we started getting emails that some Chinese company was posting everyone's likenesses on Amazon around Christmas time.
Yep.
Like you could buy a Brian Storming video shirt on Amazon for $10 at one time.
Really?
Yep. Looked just like ours.
Yeah.
But it was from someone else. It wasn't anything from ours.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think that's gotten a lot better because Google actually catches a lot of that now. And if you report it and you when you fill out the thing, you got to put in the URL to your video, their video, and then 24 hours. And I think if they copied more than 5 of your videos, they take their whole channel down.
Okay.
So I've been having some copyright issues. Like the editing service I use, you buy a subscription to it and you get to use their music. And I mean, they have a decent amount of music, and it's a little bit different than the same songs everyone else uses because it's coming from a different place.
Yep.
And it's already in your software, so it's easy to get to. Well, my intro song uses both intros that I've ever used the music came from that app.
Okay.
All of a sudden, like a month ago, I started getting copyright infringements. I ended up with 12.
Yep.
I was like, what the heck? And it was all for my intro song. It just so happened it was my 12 most popular videos, too. I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah.
And, I mean, some of these videos were from 3 years ago. And, have to appeal them. And they denied it.
They denied them.
Yep.
Okay.
I finally emailed the company that I get the subscription from, and, I mean, they ended up getting them revoked.
Okay.
It's like, man, if I wasn't I do most things from an iPad.
Yep.
And you can't see that page.
Yes.
You have to be on the desktop. Like, man, if I'd have been going for 30 days and not seen that, someone would have got the money that I was going to get paid.
That's pretty messed up because
I mean, it's
they
some
went
company
back-
claiming they own that song that they don't own.
Yeah.
they went like a year after you had it uploaded.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've had them do that. Like, if I initially upload a video, they'll claim to the song, and all I do is just, it's part of the software, blah, blah, this and that. I've never had them fight it. But to me, that's a bunch of crap because do you get a notification when they do that?
You get an email, but I've got 4 email addresses. So I didn't see
but
it.
you have to stay on top of it, though.
Yeah.
I thought once it's uploaded for maybe 24 hours or whatnot,
Yeah.
if you don't catch it, you're just...
Nope.
So there's companies out there just looking for this stuff.
Well,
Yep.
I wondered about that.
Yep.
Can you...
So the LumaFusion, I mean, that's who I've always emailed when this happens. They've told me that basically a company will take like a sample clip of a song, record that, somehow state that that's their song, and that's how they'll file that copyright.
Yep.
Basically, it's a bunch of scammers then.
Yep.
It is. So we're out here trying to do what we do, and there's someone out there just trying to take
Or
it away.
also, I've heard that sometimes, LumaFusion may own the rights to a song, but some other editing company may own those rights to that song also. So sometimes there'll be confusion there, is from what I've gathered. But
So the little bit of sound effects or music I use is off iMovie. That's what I use to edit my videos. I'll get them for that. And it always goes in spurts like that. Like one night, I'll all of a sudden get a notification, email, copyright. 5 minutes later, I'll get another one. And there'll be like 12 or 15. And you got to fill out the form. And then
It's aggravating.
next day, you get a thing back saying you're all clear.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
But it'll go in spurts.
Right. They must not have a good handle on it because, I mean, for them to be able to do that a year after like YouTube must not have anything figured out yet to combat that, I guess, because
it just makes a bunch of extra work for you. But for a lot of times the video is old enough that it's probably not getting a lot of views anyways. But it's like, well,
and I think that's probably why some of them do that.
I kind of wonder if you get throttled a little bit from YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, that they think you're stealing music.
Yes.
I mean, Jeremy kind of alluded to that when we were talking about his golf course channel, and I didn't grow much last month when I had 12 outstanding copyright infringements.
That's messed up.
But I'll tell you, I think this year, my YouTube and my Instagram's really slowed down.
Yeah, I've noticed mine has.
And I'm not sure why, but
I've noticed a lot of the other farm channels similar situation.
Is it because more people are doing farm channels now?
There's definitely a lot of them now. Like, how many cameras did you see people carrying around at Farm Machinery Show?
Yeah, people coming up or you'll see someone with a shirt on for some YouTube name, and you're just like, who's this? Or I get on YouTube tonight, and then I look over and suggest that there's some channel I never heard of before popping up. And
there's a lot of, I mean, most of it's good. I mean,
but
I mean, there's definitely a lot. It's a lot more watered down or polluted. I don't know the right way to say it. There's a lot more channels.
I'm just glad that, and you probably are too, that we started doing it when we started doing it.
I wish I had started 2 years sooner.
Yes, because it'd be to try to break into it now.
Right. I mean, but if you would, like you said, if you would have been 2 years ahead of the game,
it
would have helped.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in a unique situation for all the area I get to travel and the stuff I get to see.
That's one thing I do like about your channel is so if I watch Brian's videos, they're all what he uses in row crop farming or whatever you would consider your part of farming. But on yours, it's like silage to you mean all over the country. I think that is very neat to be able to see that different things. And one of the things that I found, which I didn't watch a lot of them, but I watched a few before doing this podcast. Was it not sorghum?
Milo.
Milo,
They call it grain sorghum or Milo.
I've never heard of them harvesting that for cows, as silage.
Yep.
That's something.
Oh yeah, that was a taller. It was a hybrid that was taller, so they could get more plant matter in with the grain. Yep.
Gotcha. Huh?
Yeah.
So this just things like that I feel like if you watch your YouTube, you'll learn that.
Yes.
From different parts of the country how to do things differently. I think it was drier out there.
Yeah.
And that's why they did that.
Yeah, and that's like tillage practices are different,
Right.
And people go nuts because the moldboard plow is kind of a thing of the past, but there's areas where they still moldboard plow, and that'll get a lot of bad comments. Like, people are like, oh my God, he's creating another dust bowl. We're gonna have another dust bowl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's some. I don't know if I start thinking about all the comments and the negativity on some things. It just.
Do you ever have anyone that you're filming, like any people that you're on site filming, like? Do they see the comments? I mean, how do they respond?
Yeah,
that's
how
do they respond to hateful ones?
Nobody's really said it. I mean, people do read the comments for sure, and that's always a fear. Like when someone makes a bad comment, is this farm going to let me ever come back here because of that comment?
Yeah.
Because people make some pretty ignorant comments about stuff they know nothing about.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed. If you're doing any kind of job, there's someone's going to tell you you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
No matter how you do it.
Yeah. Well, like, for example, a farmer I know in Indiana, they farm a lot of acres. They got a lot of nice new equipment, and they update their equipment regularly. And people make comments. Must be nice to be able to operate all that equipment. Well, you can't farm a bunch of acres with junk. Like, you got to have the equipment to get the job done. Like, I don't know what people were thinking, but probably one of the funniest things I did. I was with a dealer up in Michigan about 20 years ago, and he bought a Model T car. And this dealer was in this small town, and at lunchtime they would close the doors, go down to the local tavern for lunch. And he says, "Jump into Model T. We're going to go down to the bar for lunch." So so we were pulling up to the bar, and this guy walks out and goes, looking at that car, goes, "Tell me, what year is this? Blah blah blah." And he goes, "Must be nice." And the dealer looked at him and goes, "What's that truck over there?" He goes, "Well, that's my F-150. He goes, "What year is it?" And the guy said, he goes, "Must be nice." And then we just drove off. That's a good way to handle it. But, But yeah, I don't know what, like, people just get irate about. Like, you can't have too good of a life, but then if you're, if you had a real old tractor and was trying to get something done, it'd be like, he needs to update
Right.
Like my Heston Stackhand video, you know, it was something they used years ago. And some guy was like, why are you putting up corn stalks with a Heston Stackhand? You know, everyone went to round balers years ago. You know, it's time for you to step up your game and make progress. It's like, I'm showing a video of something that nobody gets to see anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then if I had a brand new round baler, then someone would be like, must be nice.
Yeah. People like to hate success, it seems like.
Yeah, that's for
The
sure.
more successful you become, the more people I don't know, it's a little bit of jealousy probably.
I would say so. I mean, yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, everybody wants to drive fancy new machinery.
Yeah. Yep.
Farm 1,000 acres. I mean,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
if it all comes down to it.
Yep.
I mean, I've farmed with old machinery and I've farmed with new machinery, and like Dad always talks about how when I get my 4430, I'm gonna get me an old 12 row, and I'm like, the first 100 acres you're gonna be begging for your air seat.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you had some videos, some old VHS stuff you posted years ago. That was neat. Like that was cool.
That was an unexpected treasure.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was.
In fact, that 4430 was in that. Mm-hmm. So I haven't said it on the YouTube channel, but we are supposed to get that tractor back, like that exact one.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's why he thinks he's going to go find him a 12 row.
Okay. Yeah, but then you get an old 7,000 12 row
Yep, that's what he
planter,
wants.
So, and now you got all precision stuff. Like, yeah.
He keeps saying, I'm going to farm the old home place, and you guys can farm everything else.
Okay.
Like, I just don't believe him.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't last real long.
I don't think so, no.
You was talking about your RV trip and putting a brake caliper on in the parking lot there. So I wrote down AutoZone. So my oldest son had a Chevy Cobalt, and he bought it brand new, but it needed his first set of brakes. So I said, I'll put the front brakes on for you. And anyways, I don't know. I ended up losing a bolt for one of the calipers. And we had to run and get a caliper bolt. And it was during harvest, so I was helping my neighbor farm, and his car needed to get done. So we had to. So anyways, we jump in my truck. We run up to AutoZone to get this bolt, and we pull in. There was two different guys in the parking lot. One guy had his hood up. Another guy had his car up on ramps, and he was underneath. And can I swear on this podcast? Yeah. I go, oh. he goes, what? I go, every hillbilly and their brothers in the parking lot working on their effing cars.
Maybe that's the only pavement they could find. Nicer than the shade tree, I guess.
Yeah, but I was just like, man, because I just wanted to run in there, get this caliper bolt, and get out and get his car fixed and go back and run grain cart, you know?
Yeah,
and
didn't have time.
They're going to be 30 deep at the parts counter. So.
Well, that way you don't have to make a trip back.
Yeah. But no, but that would be actually.
Well, it's just something different. And it's not like I really had a bucket list, but it's just well, it's something. It's one thing I've done now.
Yeah. So when we was at Haspin Acres Saturday, I was leading, and we went down this creek bottom. It was all rock, and we go around this corner, and there's this old Grand Cherokee, and this guy's the hood's popped up on it, and this guy's like, whoa, you're gonna have to go around. I'm like, oh, okay, what happened? He goes, oh, we're changing out a ball joint.
Oh.
So he tried to climb this hill, and he had the bigger tires on it and everything. He tried to climb this hill, and he broke a ball joint. He's like, we're going to have it back together in 30 minutes. It's like, you had a ball joint with you? He goes, no. So
You got zip ties.
there was a town about 20 miles away, had an auto parts store. So one of the guys in their group went back to the parking lot, ran to town, got a ball joint, brought McDonald's back because they had a McDonald's bag on the hood of their Cherokee. It's like, these guys, this is all right.
That sounds like a guy running a Cherokee, doesn't it?
But those Cherokees must be tough because that's a vehicle I've seen people.
I think they're cheap.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
it's the thing right now.
Okay.
My wife's nephew has one of those, and all his buddies. It's like you're not cool if you got a Wrangler, but if you got a Cherokee, you're in there.
And they're not nice. Like they're beat up. They're old.
Yeah.
They just put bigger tires
like
on
Brian
them.
said, cheap. Probably cheap to maintain.
well, they're not cheap anymore. There's not many left around here.
Well,
I mean, they
too.
used to be you could buy a roadworthy Cherokee for $500.
They'll have to move on to something else.
But I mean, if you look at them, they got Dana 30 axles. I mean,
Yeah.
I would take a Rubicon Wrangler over one, but
Yeah. So.
Well, Monroe, do you have anything else?
I thought we should give a big shout out to our new podcast sponsor, Kayla. We got Working Word Podcast notepads and Working Words Podcast pens.
They were pretty handy.
Yep.
They did help the conversation flow a
They
little bit.
did. And the conversation bounced all over the place. And
Yeah, it did.
Kayla never said a word, did she, on it?
I think she said she laughed a couple times. I think is about it.
And sometimes I thought she was bored.
Yeah.
And then I'd see her smile once in a while. So, yep.
So, anyways, that's cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I had all my questions.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. This was good. I'd definitely do it again. But
Well, we'll definitely have you again. I mean, we've been at it for almost 2.5 hours now.
wow. Okay. And I'm going to listen to this, and I'm going to make other people listen to this too. So.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Tell them to download. I don't know, subscribe, whatever you can do on a podcast, I guess.
So Apple rating and reviews help a lot. We've got a few hundred now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, that's great. That's great. I don't know if I'm ever going to get in the podcast business myself, but if you guys ever take this show on the road sometimes, yeah. Now, you did one with Millennial Farmer, didn't you, up at his place a while back? So I thought about when I was up in Minnesota hitting them up sometime for one.
Well, whenever the night before I went up there, me and you were drinking a beer in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
I sent him a picture. He goes, "Tell that crazy son of a bitch to come on up."
Okay, well, I'll have to get a hold of him sometime. But all righty.
Well, yeah, it'll work. I appreciate you coming out, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me.